Championship week.
Fired up J-State, fired up, winners of 8 straight. The Jackson State Tigers looking to capture their third SWAC championship in the last 4 years. On the other side, the prowl from the Jaguars of Southern University. A renewed defense looking to upset the Tigers on their home field and flex that hardware back in their trophy case. Welcome to the SWAC Championship as a part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week from the capital city in Mississippi. The Jackson State Tigers come high-stepping into Veterans Memorial Stadium, winners of the East to take on the champs out of the West Division, the Southern University Jaguars. Hey everybody, and what's up, fam? With the former Howard University and NFL quarterback Jay Walker, I'm Tiffany Green. Now, these two teams are longtime rivals in the conference, but this is the moment in this game so big.
Absolutely. Big is like not even an accurate enough word to describe it. This game is huge. Everything you want. It means so much to both universities. The game of the year, Jackson State, arguably the best team in HBCU football, but they've got to defend their home field and defeat a very hungry and underrated Southern University Jaguar team if they want to make it to the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
Well, Southern has that opportunity because they have the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year in Kelby Givens, and he's anchored that defensive line.
And in a game like this, you have to have star power. To make it this far in the postseason, you have to have great players, and Kelby Givens is a defensive lineman that's an absolute He hurts you in so many ways, getting in the backfield, but more importantly, even when he's not the focus of the play, he makes his teammates better by being the distraction on the defensive line that allows this Jaguar defense to go hunt their prey in the backfield.
Well, this is a player who's top 10 in FCS and sacks and tackles for loss, and they're going to need his best game today if they want to advance to the Cricket Celebration Bowl. On the other side, how about the Offensive Player of the Year in the conference and running back Irv Mulligan?
If you want to control the line of scrimmage, then you have to have a great running back that can make guys miss. Now, what Irv Mulligan does, which is so special, the transfer from Wofford, he runs exceptionally well in between the tackles. He does not look to bounce. He does not run away from contact. If he's picking up a bulk majority of his yards, it's running up the middle to the teeth of the defense.
Well, he is averaging 105 yards per game. You see there, 1,000-yard rusher a la Walter Payton back in the day for the Jackson State Tigers. This version, Irv Mulligan, is ever so tough. And let's take it down to the third member of our team, Coley Hart, who's down on the field with more.
Well, hello, Tiffany and Jay. Now, when Southern head coach Terrence Graves spoke to his team earlier this season, he said, guys, we can win a championship. Even after the Jaguars began the season 2-3, Graves said he never wavered from that pronouncement. It echoed a lot of what we heard Jackson State head coach T.C. Taylor tell his team. He said that it doesn't matter the opponent. It was always about December. Well, here they both are with teams that have overcome coaching staff overhauls in the offseason and a bevy of changes with personnel during the midseason. But even with all of that aside, as this SWAC championship begins, I'm reminded of what Jackson State running back Irv Mulligan told me this week. He said, winning this game is what matters the most.
Thanks so much, Coley. And obviously, this would be a first for either head coach. Terrence Graves, as Coley mentioned, in his first season leading the way after being a long-time assistant in HBCU football. On the other side, you've got T.C. Taylor, who was a part of the SWAC championship games and teams, rather, in 2001 and 2022. But now he leads the way as the head man in his second year at his alma mater. But now he leads the way as the head man in his second year at his alma mater. Well, when you think about the Southwestern Athletic Conference, what comes to mind? Grambling State. They are the premier team in terms of the history of this conference and the success that they have had. But right behind them, the two teams we will see today in Southern and Jackson State, 2 and 3 respectively in that list of most SWAC championships throughout their program's history.
You know, they like to call certain schools blue bloods. These are two of the blue bloods. You know, Grambling being the premier, the #1 HBCU football program ever of all time. That's not questioned. But then you talk about Jackson State and Southern, two of the blue bloods, two of the biggest fan bases that you will find. And the Jaguars have made the trip here to Jackson, Mississippi. Did we mention two of the best bands in the country as well?
Well, see, I was giving the Southern University Human Jukebox their due on the other side for Jackson State, the sonic boom of the South. And in fact, during the regular season, they play in the Boom Box Classic. So there is definitely two games going on here today. We already heard the opening quarter, the zero quarter, in the pregame between these two bands. Meanwhile, the teams take the field. And
in my Gimme 5 list, these are two of the top 5 band nicknames.
Okay.
You got the Sonic Boom of the South, and you got the Human Jukebox. And those are band names right there.
How do you feel about the dancing squads as well?
Dancing Dolls and the J-Sets. Both of them legendary.
So Southern University will receive the ball first, 8-4 overall, but 7-1 in the conference to make it to their 9th SWAC championship game, seeking their first title in 11 years. Gerardo Beza legs into this one. It goes into the end zone for a touchback, and that's where we'll get an opportunity to see this Southern University offense very much renewed. Now, the starter going into this week was Jalen Woods. He was expected to take the field, however, has not cleared concussion protocol after the Bayou Classic, the hit that he took there. So Savion T-Set will get the start. Also a redshirt freshman out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Southern wasn't already running uphill. The fact that you don't have your starting quarterback that really got you to this game at your services right now, you have to rely on another freshman. But T-Set, a local kid from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, has an opportunity to prove that he deserves to be in this football game.
He was getting ready to go, and so are the Jaguars as they open from scrimmage with a run of 1 yard from Kendrick Rhymes. Jeremiah Williams, who has kind of been the defensive MVP for this Tiger defense, was there to stop him immediately. The interior linemen for Jackson State have been outstanding with both Williams and True Thompson.
And that's where the challenge comes from Southern University. When they played early in the year, the offensive line for Southern did not do their part. They made wholesale changes, adding 3 new starters to their starting lineup.
He had Rhymes in motion. T-Set moving out to his right, and he's taken down the pursuit of that Tiger defense. And who is it but Shamar Hawkins, a loss of 3.
We wonder if the protection is going to be there, but I'm going to put this on the quarterback T-Set. Right there, you have enough time to make a decision. If you're left-handed, you know you've got to make that decision even quicker. He did not. Takes a sack. Big play for Jackson State.
Now working behind the chains as this Tiger defense has been so stingy. One of the best in FCS, and listen to chants of defense early on from this Tiger crowd. Here on 3rd and 12 from their own 28. T-Set looking down the field.
Plenty of room to run.
Lots of room and more for T-Set, who takes care of business. First down and a little bit extra. That's the dimension that T-Set adds with his dual threat ability.
And they run a stunt, and they loop around their blitzing linebacker all the way around. Once he does not get to the pocket, great recognition by T-Set to make him pay with his legs. First down, Southern University.
28-yard run sets him up in Tiger territory at their 49-yard line. They only gained 29 yards in their first meeting back on September 14th. And now our first flag of the game, Charles Green, the officiating crew.
False start. Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And this officiating crew out of the SWAC, Jermaine Minor Jr., whistled for the false start, so that'll set him back 5 yards.
And those are plays you cannot make in a championship game. You know, you've got a lot at stake. Every yard counts. Field position is so crucial. And the mental error jumping off sides.
And there, the defense caught from behind. That ball is live as it rolls out of bounds. But again, Joshua Nobles, part of that defensive front for Terenzo Quinn, and the defensive coordinator says, look, I've got plenty of faith in all of what this defense, especially that front seven, can do.
And that was a great job by Nobles. If you notice, he lowered the pad level to get underneath the tackle. Southern University's got 6'5" and 6'6" tackles in height-wise, so you really must capitalize on your leverage. Great job by Nobles making a big play.
Ruling on the field of a fumble is under further review.
This is one of those plays where you had the big run, and since the big run, think about what's taking place. You jumped off sides, cost yourself 5 yards. Then another strip sack fumble possibly. And this is with Southern, you got to keep the drive going. When you're coming to this place right here, this environment is kind of getting to them a little bit. The pom-poms are flowing, the sonic boom is bumping. I think that call's going to stand.
Yeah.
It's a fumble.
Because I don't know if we saw the arm coming forward. So the rule on the field that it was a fumble. A loss of 15 yards on the play. We'll see if it stands as is. Another look here.
Now that look there makes me think he was actually going through his throwing motion.
The ruling of a fumble has been confirmed. Second down, Southern.
So the call on the field stands. It's going to be 2nd and 30 for Southern. You see Willie Totten there, one of the greats in the SWAC, played at Mississippi Valley State with Jerry World-Rice, and now he's got to try to rally his troops in this offensive unit as one of the assistants to get them back in order. There's Terrence Graves, who felt very confident about his chances coming in, and what he told us in pregame was like, hey, look, we've got a chance. Coley said it. He's always been confident about their abilities and a chance to be here, but he says we've got to start fast. Right now, shooting themselves in the foot, halting some of that fast start. Last 4 plays, a couple of negative outcomes, and here on 2nd down, the handoff up the middle. And Jay, one of the things that we're curious to see, and one of those matchups we're paying attention to, is how does this offensive line hold up against Jackson State? We talked about the success that they didn't have the last time around, made some changes since then, and they've had great results in the last 3 games.
Starts with the protection up front, and we've not seen them do a good job protecting their quarterback so far in this game.
Colby Dillon, who remains in the backfield here on 3rd and forever, and T-Set just tries to get any form of positive yardage, and John Brown is there for the stop, and it's going to bring up 4th down. So what started to be a promising drive for Southern stalled out pretty quickly here.
And you get the feeling that Jackson State, their defensive line, they knew what the challenge was going to be, and every play they are firing off the ball, trying to dominate the line of scrimmage, not just control it. They want to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Kenny Pham on the punt, and got to also be mindful of the returner here for Jackson State, Travis Terrell, as he sees it down. So we'll step aside here. The ball spotted at the 21-yard line of Jackson State. The Tigers offense take the field when we return.
Present creativity. Have you had
Get the all-new Google Pixel 9 series with Gemini Live.
It's pick your poison with this Jackson State offense. A balanced attack. Jacobian Morgan, who has been outstanding, 2nd in the SWAC in passing efficiency. We told you about Irv Mulligan leading the way as the top SWAC rusher. And Jonas Bertillion, who is an outstanding wide receiver, the sophomore. It's just, again, one of those things where you see T.C. Taylor's crew coming out, scoring the most points in the SWAC, and Jacobian Morgan, who has solidified himself as one of the true stars in the conference.
And they're doing it the non-traditional way here. A quarterback that has less than 2,000 yards, that's not the J-State way, but that's the T.C. Taylor way. Win at all costs, control line of scrimmage, running the football, something they're not used to doing since Walter Payton.
On the first play for Jackson State, and it's into the hands of...
And look at all the gray jerseys on a powder blue jersey or Columbia blue. engaged, and Mulligan just sets him up, has the patience, and you know once he finds a crease, he can hurt you.
Moving with some tempo and always difficult to bring down. A first down picked up, and that's Willie Miles who brought him down.
Look at Kelby Gibbons. You're going to have to make a play. In a game like this, you have to make a big play, and Kelby Gibbons almost makes the tackle for the loss. Just not able to bring him to the ground, but he did get disruptive in that previous play.
So Travis Terrell now joining him in the backfield, a freshman out of Atlanta, trying to provide some protection, and Morgan just throwing it away. It's second down.
Pressure by
Kelby Gibbons.
Kelby Gibbons. So he's starting to find his mark there and make an impact in this game, forcing the quarterback to get rid of the football earlier than he would like. And you talk about a guy that just dominates, one-on-one. Like, I don't know if I've seen anybody that can block him one-on-one. And we always say if you want to play the next level, you must dominate at this level. And Kelby Gibbons is a dominating defensive lineman.
Well, the junior out of Shreveport in on the last two plays for the defense. And they try to run it up the middle, and no dice for Travis Terrell Jr. Pickup of just 2 on the play. How about Davin Cotton, also a Shreveport native, in on the stop. So here on 3rd and 8, T.C. Taylor also calls the plays. And what does he like to go to here in this situation? We talked about the wide receiver, Jonas Fortillion. Jameel Gardner already targeted here with a reception. What does he go with?
You want to get to Fortillion. He's your feature guy that you like to have there. If you can get him one-on-one at the X position, which would be the bottom of the screen there, they're going to look for him right away.
And T.C. Taylor spins his first time out.
That's their first charge.
So the Tigers, who are on the move, they'll have to talk it over. 3rd and 8 coming up when we come back.
Just getting the short stick. That's just 0.5% chance to make it. Oh, no.
There are 2 losses on the year to Georgia Tech and Syracuse. Here, 3rd and 8 out of the timeout, and Jacoby and Morgan making some calls at the line. It's
better block Kelby Gibbons. So you call a timeout, all that stuff goes out the way if you don't block Kelby Gibbons from the defensive end position.
He came a-coming, and they're just closing in. The pocket collapsing. Jelani Davis credited for the sack, but Kelby Gibbons forced that from the beginning. You said it, #1 in Columbia Blue. Watch out for him all day long. That's the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's too fast, so they bring a guy to come over and pull and block him, but the speed, he's already low, disruptive there. You draw up all these plays, you think it's going to work, but when you get to the game, it's not on paper. It's mano-a-mano, and Gibbons is showing you why he's the man.
Jaguar sack forces 4th down. The punt upcoming from Matt Knoll. Knoll trying to pin the Jaguars inside the 10-yard line. And I think it bounced out somewhere near the 13 or 14-yard line. So good job there by Knoll. Special teams has been a point of emphasis this year. Javancy Jones, who has held down the fort as the special teams assistant, helped the way.
Mike check.
Well, you look at the Southern rushing attack the last 3 games. We talked about the shift along the offensive line after that Jackson State game, and 200 yards plus in their last 3 games. 233 put up against Bethune-Cookman.
First series.
Massive overtime games this season.
First series, first possession, they field them out. Now you establish what you want to do, and you want Kendrick Grimes to run the football.
Instead, they come out throwing on 1st down, and the pass is complete. The lefty T-set into the hands of Darren Morris, and a gain of 9. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 1 after that Robert McDaniel tackle.
And when we talked to the offensive coordinator, Mark Frederick, about the game plan, we want to run, but he and Coach Graves said, we have to be able to throw the ball. We see some weaknesses in their secondary, which is pretty smart. Although you want to run, we know the strength of Jackson State is their defensive line. So if this is the case, you can get a quarterback going into a groove. It'll only help your running game.
Well, they awarded them the 1st down on that play, so a fresh set of downs, and it's Colby Dillon right up ahead, and Dillon along with Kendrick Grimes the two horses in the backfield, along with C.J. Russell for that rushing attack. So Joshua Nobles on the tackle. It's 2nd and 9.
You almost get the feeling that Jackson State gets mad. Their D-line gets mad if you get a successful run against them. I mean, they just peel back. They want to clog the running lanes. They don't want you to leave the pocket. Very aggressive defensive front.
And taking off as T said, he's able to pick up 1 yard as coming from that outside, that nickel Shamar Hawkins.
Not a good look if you're Southern University. They're only going to rush 3. They bring a 4th guy from the edge. He goes unblocked. They're struggling to protect their quarterback early in this game. That's what Jackson State wants you to do.
So Hawkins helping to lead that back half of the defense. Meanwhile, 3rd and 8 upcoming for Terrence Graves' squad. 1 for 2 on 3rd downs as T-Set rolls to his left and overthrows, and the pass incomplete. Tyler Kirkwood was the intended target, and the punting unit will trot back on.
Decide they want to move the pocket, see if they can take advantage of a one-on-one matchup. More accurate throw, he's open. In college football, you have to make that throw. You're not going to get more separation than that. Just a misfire by T-Set to keep the drive alive.
So Travis Terrell, first team all-conference specialist, awaits this one on his own 40-yard line. Pham puts it up, has some hang time, and fair caught by Terrell at the 42-yard line. Jackson State's got the ball when we come back to the vet. Welcome back to the SWAC Championship as a part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Knotted at 0 here. Irv Mulligan already off to a good start. For more, let's send it down to Coley Harvey.
You touched on this earlier, but Irv Mulligan's remarkable season was so close to never even happening. Last season, the Jackson State running back suffered a serious ankle injury that he kept playing through, and ultimately imaging in his foot and ankles showed ligament damage that required surgery to fix. In fact, Mulligan told me this week he wasn't even, or doctors, weren't even sure if he'd be able to play this season, but here he is having a great year for the Tigers.
Absolutely, Coley. And you think about it, his first game of the season was back on September 14th against Southern. Had success then, and the success keeps on adding on for Irv Mulligan, who he's just one of those guys you root for. T.C. Taylor has just loved what he's brought to him. He's one of his recruits, and he's happy that he's lined up for the Jaguars. Here, Jacoby and Morgan making something happen, picks up the first down. Derek Williams brings him down, but after that gain of 11, and the Tigers into Southern territory.
Yeah, look at the job that Morgan does, going through his progressions, but this is how you play the quarterback position. Stepped up in the pocket, looked downfield, found a running lane, took advantage of it. Great job of playing quarterback by Morgan.
The handoff, once again, there's Irv, still on his feet. Irv Mulligan keeps on going. The balance of Irv Mulligan. He's that dude. Low center of gravity. Arm tackles won't do it. 27-yard pickup.
I say he does a great job running in between the tackles. You see there, finds a crease behind the guard and has the vision and the balance to finish off great runs. You don't see a lot of college running backs that are comfortable running like up the gut, as we used to say. He's comfortable running the ball up the gut.
Now inside the red zone, Jacoby and Morgan just loses the football. And Jackson State fortunate to fall back on top of it. Morgan recovers his own fumble, and it looked like it just slipped out of his hand, Jay. Or was it?
I think some pressure got there, and as he was dropping back there, the ball just slipped out, as you mentioned. Maybe felt the rush, and Jackson State fortunate that the quarterback was able to recover his own fumble.
A loss of 10. So now on 2nd and 20, you just hand it off. This time it's Travis Terrell. And Travis Terrell Jr. with a solid gain of 8 yards brought down by Vincent Page Jr. So now you've got to get to the 7-yard line and try to pick up this first down on 3rd and 12.
I think for Jackson State, the offensive line's done a pretty good job protecting Morgan, so you can open up your playbook. You don't have to say we're going to call a quick pass. You can call long developing passing routes, crossing routes that take a longer time to develop. Your whole playbook's at your disposal.
Morgan, who's completed just one pass, looking for another, but not able to escape the sack from Derek Williams.
They brought the blitz. When the whole front four wasn't getting there, what do? You blitz your inside linebacker to make a play. You see number 5 will come, goes by the block of Terrell, and that's the mismatch you want. If you can force a small freshman running back to have to block a linebacker on a blitz, that's a tough task.
Derek Williams, veteran along there and forcing a field goal here. Gerardo Beza from 42 yards out. It's up and it is through. Beza with a strong leg, a second-team all-conference selection, and he gets Jackson State on the board first. The Tigers in their 8th SWAC championship game, trying to capture their 3rd championship in the last 4 years. You think about T.C. Taylor, who's been on this staff since 2019 when Deion Sanders, Coach Prime was here. They won it in back-to-back years in 21 and 22. And now T.C. Taylor has this team in position to perhaps capture their 4th ever conference title in the SWAC championship game since it started in 1999. All right, Jay, so we're taking a look at this Jackson State team, and where do they fall in your power rankings? Oh, number 2, I see.
I've been hearing about it ever since I got to Jackson. Why are we number 2? Why are we number 2? I'm like, first of all, it's Jay's power ranking. It's not the city of Jackson power ranking. But I think, South Carolina State's number 1. They'll be in the Celebration Bowl. Jackson State 2. And the team that really surprised me and impressed me, Tennessee State. Eddie George has a really good football team. North Carolina Central 4, Alabama State 5. Give it up to Virginia Union making history with their historic playoff run that they're continuing to have.
First 2 ever playoff wins for the Panthers out of the CIAA. Meanwhile, C.J. Russell ready to receive it here and try to give a little boost to the Jaguars.
Just to cap it off, if it plays out, if Jackson State were to win this game, this would probably be the most anticipated Cricket Celebration Bowl in a long time.
Well, now,
clearly have the best 2 teams playing each other.
Okay, now do you say that because it would be a rematch of the Cricket Celebration Bowl from 2021?
No, I say I can't remember a team where I've had the best 2 teams in HBCU football in the Celebration Bowl. It's always been a team that snuck in there that maybe should have won overmatch. But South Carolina State is the real deal, and Jackson State's trying to prove that they are the real deal.
He sent the offense back on the field, and that's C.J. Russell. Russell with a couple of yards, but I think a false start's going to bring that back. And perhaps what may have made that a little bit more difficult, the sonic boom of the South was playing.
The boom.
While they were trying to snap it.
Both bands, this is one of the noisiest games you'll hear out there, too, because both bands are large and they're loud and they're into it and they follow it. Great band directors. And halftime here will be a battle as well.
Well, some confusion on the field for Jackson State as they were trying to get the right personnel on for defense. And Jackson State spins the timeout. Their second already of the first half, and they've emptied 2 out of the clip in the first quarter.
You take a look at T.C. Taylor. Think about the job he's done. He's born and bred Jackson State. Played football here at Jackson State, played wide receiver, but started his career as a quarterback. So he was a quarterback, moved to wide receiver, has been paying his dues, moving up the coaching ranks. He loves D.I. Love, Jackson State University, and they love him too. You kind of get that feeling. They're happy to see we'll call him the homeboy, but the alum leading this program. He likes it. He appreciates it all. And Wow, what a year that they've had this season.
Well, you just think about it. December 13, 2022, officially took over after the Celebration Bowl. He comes home. This is what he says is home. Pike County, Mississippi native. And in just 2 seasons, has this squad back in the SWAC Championship game. Kobe Dillon trying to find any room to run, making it difficult. And a pickup of 2 there. But just to finish off with T.C. Taylor, I mean, you think about what this means for him and how special of an opportunity that it is to be able to coach in this game. And you hear coaches all the time and players, hey, look, the hard work is starting to pay off. But he had to deal with a lot of turnover in the process in the last 2 years. Now his squad is 1 game away from the HBCU National Championship game. Pass incomplete. However, flag flies out at the end. Robert McDaniel was on the coverage.
Absolutely. Easy call for the official to make. Spun him around in the middle of his route.
So the pass interference will give a fresh set of downs. And
pass interference on the defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
So Robert McDaniel whistled for the infraction, but important here to see they were targeting number 19, Chandler Whitfield, and Whitfield has kind of been a glue piece on offense for the Jaguars.
He's their explosive playmaker. He's one of the best wide receivers in the conference. If they can get him his touches, then they have a chance of putting some points on the board.
Russell tried to get away, but nowhere to go, just snuffed out immediately by Timon Wells.
They're just struggling running the ball. I mean, Jackson State is putting a pounding on them on the defensive line. And look at all these guys winning their battles, finding the creases. It's almost like they look unblockable, and the defensive line is starting to feed off of that.
3rd tackle for a loss already registered by this Tiger defense, or as they like to call themselves, the dark side. And right now, T-Set and this offense have to get going for Southern. That was Rhymes in motion. Coming across, he's the one who's targeted, brought it in. And now going to be about a yard or 2 short of the first down marker as that takes us to the close of the first quarter here of the SWAC Championship. Southern seeking their first SWAC title in 11 years. They're moving the ball. Can they put some points on the board? Find out.
By purpose.
Southern trailing by 3 as we start the second quarter. The Southern University and A&M College located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, better than 7,000 students. Dr. Dennis J. Shields, the president, known for their engineering, nursing, of course, in law school. Some of those notable alums: Lou Brock, Avery Johnson, Branford Marcellus, Ricky Weeks, Bobby Phils.
Yeah, that list's a little light, though. I need Harold Carmichael on that list.
Okay, well, they've got 3 Pro Football Hall of Famers. Indeed, Harold Carmichael.
Williams
That's
on that
right.
list.
Mel Blunt. And a big 3rd and 1 upcoming here for Southern. Kobe Dillon gets the handoff and gets the first down. So that's exactly what Terrence Graves wants to see, a pickup of 6 and see if that offensive line can push around.
And a great job by number 65, Christian Garcia, pulling from his guard position. When you weigh 300 pounds, just getting away, but having the mobility to get on that edge so they can create a running lane.
Terrence Graves, who has seen that offensive line play much better towards the back half of the season. They're into Tiger territory for the first time. It's T-Set who keeps it spun around. Phillip Webb finally gets T-Set to go down, but again, making a living in that backfield and tracking down any ball carrier of the Tigers.
Here's where they're having trouble. They run the same type of play, but the quarterback draw. Watch number 65, the left guard. He's going to engage, but he doesn't win the battle. Well, you have to win that battle. He engages him, but allows his man to come free and throw the quarterback like a rag doll. So it's like they're popping, but they're not following through on their blocks.
So 2nd and 10 from the 46, and that pass is complete. Great concentration there. It was bobble for a moment, and Dupree Fuller Jr., the tight end, has the Jaguars into the red zone.
Just a little seam route, hits him with a little hesitation step, gets behind Cameron Smith, the safety. Southern University likes to use their tight ends, so they feel that we can get our tight ends versus safeties. We like that advantage. Great execution and big-time throw from T-Set.
3 for 5 through the air for T-Set. And now the RPO and Phillip Webb, and unwisely just tries to get rid of it. And there is that one of those examples, Jay? Redshirt freshman
trying to do too much.
Trying to do too much.
He's left-handed, though, so that was actually a pass. So I'm surprised they threw the bag down like this is a fumble, but I think you have to call this a pass. He knows he's going down. He tried to throw that ball being a lefty. I'm surprised they just don't mark that incompletion.
Second down.
That's what they did.
Okay.
They wouldn't call it incompletion. They got it right.
Coming in, the question was, how would the youngster handle this moment? It was a game-time decision coming in if he would play with Jalen Woods not available for today's game.
Timeout.
Timeout taken on the field, and we will step aside as well. 12:46 remaining.
Timeout on the field.
ABC and our ESPN platforms. Plus, we'll have a special Simpsons Fun Day football version over on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. Meanwhile, back here at the Vet, a 3-0 advantage for Jackson State. It's 2nd and 10, and Southern trying to move the football and try to put some points on the board. They give it to Kendrick Rhymes, who temporarily gets stuck. And again, True Thompson, Jeremiah Williams making it ever so difficult. 3rd down upcoming. Well, in between the quarters, our Coley Harvey caught up with Terrence Graves. And what did Coach have to say, Coley?
Well, Tiffany, between quarters, when I spoke to Coach Graves, he said that this is something that he wants to see from his team. He really piggybacked the point that Jay made earlier. We need to finish blocks. He didn't think that his offensive line was quite firing off the ball well enough and finishing blocks. We saw it on the very first play of this quarter, but since this offense has kind of stalled a little bit, and that's something he wants to see. He also wants to see his receivers catch passes. They had a couple of drops there in the first quarter.
All right, thanks so much, Coley. The left-handed T-Set sees that one go incomplete on 3rd down. And so the Jaguars offense will walk off the field. Chandler Whitfield saying he caught it, but another look here, and that hit the ground.
You see they're trying to creatively find ways to move the ball and the lack of pass protection. But that's a tough throw there. You have a left-handed quarterback and you want him to roll out to his right and throw the out route. Probably the toughest throw you can make as a quarterback.
Joshua Griffin, 38-yard attempt to try to tie up this ball game. And Coach Graves not happy about something and elects to spend their 2nd timeout of the quarter.
Kind of going through those timeouts like water. 2 of them on this drive alone. Like to keep yourself in a position to have a timeout before the half if you want to try and put some points on the board if you have the football.
Well, I'll tell you about Southern. Throughout the season, if you're just tuning in, folks, they have had some scares for sure. We call them the cardiac cats, if you will, just because of the way that they've survived. In overtime against Prairie View and A&M, the same thing against Texas Southern, and then winning just by 5 points against Alabama A&M. Whatever it has taken, may not have been the prettiest wins, but Terrence Graves said that doesn't matter. We're not here for style points. We're here for W's, and they picked them up. 7-1 in the conference and a chance to tie here. Joshua Griffin has it up, and it is good. So tie ball game here in this SWAC championship. Remember, the winner of this one goes on to the Cricket Celebration Bowl next week, and Terrence Graves has to feel good about his team, given the fact, you kind of alluded to, hey, Jackson State has been dominating, but they've only got 3 points. And guess what? So does Southern.
Yeah, it's a tie ball game. I think the doubt starts to come in for Jackson State. Jackson State, their fans, I'm not talking their coaching staff, their fans expected to win this game by double digits easily. Like, oh, what happens if you win by 5 or 6 points? Oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to beat them by a lot. Southern showing that they're coming to play. They faced you one time already. They've been able to slow down Jackson State. Not to say they're going out there and beating them. They slowed them down. And if you're Southern University, you just think you want to be in a position to win the game in the fourth quarter. Because, as you alluded to on that package, the Cardiac Cats find a way to win close ball games.
And what did Terrence Graves tell us before? I mean, again, very confident in his team and their ability, and the fact that they are a different team than when they met back in week 3. It's a different story for this Southern squad the second time around.
A lot of people in the coaching ranks happy to see Terrence Graves get this position. Long-time coach on the HBCU level. His mentor we saw earlier today, the legendary Pete Richardson, beaming with pride. And if he can pull off the upset here in Jackson, he may join Pete Richardson's status in his first year.
Terrell deep into his own end zone, decides not to return it. Well, again, one of the things that you've got to love about Southern is Kelby Gibbons, the junior defensive end, is the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, and you're seeing why early on.
Yeah, I mean, this is not footage from out the year. This is today, and this game, just in a quarter, lets you know how disruptive he can be. And you're going to play in a game like this, what do they say, big-time players show up in big-time games and make big-time plays? Well, Gibbons is making some plays, and if you're Jackson State, you need to know where number 1 lines up every time you break the huddle.
Sharing that honor this season for Defensive Player of the Year with Grambling State's Andrew Jones. Here on 1st and 10, and it's Irv Mulligan. And a short gain on the play. And a flag comes out in the process after the play.
Dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 93 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You see Coach laying into Willie Miles, who he calls his bulldog. Let's see after the play. He comes over.
The cheap one, yeah. Yep. Can't do that. Yes, he got shoved, but they're going to catch a second man. They're going to catch second man, and you can't do it in this type of game. 15 yards of field position for Jackson State.
So they keep it on the ground, and Irv Mulligan, who's stopped. How about Darius Harry along with Kelby Gibbons? Again, the ones have it. No gain on the play.
And what did they say about Darius Henry? They said he's a perfect complement to Kelby Gibbons. Because Kelby Gibbons is going to get the attention, but you try and go one-on-one with Darius Harry, and he can hurt you as well. The 1-2 punch for the Jaguar defensive line.
Well, the bookends back at it again now on 2nd down. Jackson State from their own 42-yard line. And Jacobian Morgan tries to go underneath that pass, bat it down. I think Davin Cotton got a hand on that one.
It was a crossing route. And so he tried to play the cross route, but he looked right through his offensive lineman and pretty much hit him in the back. You'll see the crossing route that's going to come in the secondary level. He's going there, but throws the ball. It doesn't act like Davin Cotton's not even there. You got to hold on to that football, let him clear, and find a clear passing lane.
So far, Jacobian Morgan 1 for 3 through the air, so they've elected to keep it on the ground, as has been the case for Jackson State having success with their rushing attack. But here, false start, and it's going to back the Tigers up another 5.
False start, offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Cameron James, who's shifted over to the left tackle position, number 58, just moving too quickly before the snap.
T.C. Taylor is going to look on and wants to see Jacoby and Morgan make a throw here. Nope, they keep it on the ground. Travis Terrell, the speedster, and a flag comes out. So more laundry popping out. What would be a first down, but let's wait to see the call.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Number 74 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
And that's for one of their experienced linemen in DeAndre Towns Blue. Back-to-back penalties here for Jackson State.
Yeah, going up on the linebacker. Trying to chop him down low. Easy call for the official to make. And it was a great play call by T.C. Taylor, giving the ball to Terrell. But it's going to go for naught.
So now 3rd and forever for the Tigers. Pair of penalties
3rd and 26.
for Jackson State. Can they overcome them here? Morgan escaping, but not for long. Brought down by Darius Harry. How about the bookend defensive ends for Southern on this drive?
If number 1's not going to get you, number 11 will. So you'll see when they break the huddle there, Givens is going to do a fantastic job early on of establishing that he's going to be somebody to deal with. Gets by his guy quickly, and then good job by Darius Harry, continues to pursue the quarterback. Big play for Southern University, led by those defensive ends.
3rd sack for that Jaguar defense. So they are holding their own and doing their part. Their offense looking to get the ball back and try to make something happen. Here Kendrick Rhymes calling for the fair catch, and Rhymes may have preemptively done that. Looks like he may have had a little opportunity or room to return that one. Instead, it's Southern ball when we come back.
Get your favorites for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some Papa John's.
Tied at 3 apiece in this SWAC championship from Jackson, Mississippi. Well, a number of coaches have come through that are of great note throughout the SWAC championship game when it started in 1999. Pete Richardson, the legend, to be enshrined in the SWAC Hall of Fame next Saturday from Southern University. And how about Dawson Odoms winning the last Jaguars SWAC championship back in 2013, and then Deion Sanders, who did it in back-to-back seasons, 2021 and 2022. Florida A&M, who won their first ever SWAC championship last season, went on to win the HBCU National Championship. Can T.C. Taylor or Terrence Graves start their legacy within those notable coaches? This is a big game indeed for both. Trying to secure their first. T-set quickly out, and the pass complete into the hands of Kobe Brown, the true freshman. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 2.
And they're going to have to play this style of offense right now because the defensive line is so dominant for Jackson State. The exotic formation, get the ball to playmakers in space. But there's just nothing there. When they try to run the football, and that's been the big surprise for me. Southern's a pretty good rushing team. They rush for over 157 yards per game. Right now, Terenzo Quinn, the defensive coordinator, has to be impressed with the job his front four is doing.
Here on 3rd and 1, can they pick up a yard? Yes, and some more from Kobe Dillon, who tries to get to the outside, has some blocking out ahead. Kobe Dillon, who is powerful, but he's got that breakaway speed as well. We saw it right there.
They brought a run blitz, but when you bring a run blitz, you have to be responsible for your gap. If you don't make that tackle at the line of scrimmage, there's a big hole for running room in the secondary. Good vision by Kobe Dillon.
So the senior sets him up, and it's T-set, calls his own number.
With the carry.
A solid gain on 1st down, brought down by Robert McDaniel.
And maybe great decision by T-set there in the run-pass game, deciding to call his own number. pulling it there. So maybe the young freshman's starting to get a little bit more settled in this game.
You see that 2-by-2 formation with the wide receivers, and T-Set once again stepping up in the pocket, takes some contact up ahead as he runs into the defender, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
And once again, finds a place to run up the middle. But what I'm noticing, and these formations are really giving Jackson State trouble.
And Laundry coming out.
There's a flag on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 72 and number 68. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So 3rd false start for Southern, and that one couldn't come at a more inopportune time for Terrence Graves' team.
Yeah, you're looking at 3rd and 1, and now you're looking at 3rd and 6 against a very aggressive defensive line. You have to throw the ball in this situation, so being able to run it, I don't feel is an option in this case right now. So you're relying on that offensive line to give your quarterback time.
T-Set looking, has a man open along the sideline and right into the hands of Darren Morris, and a 1st down for Southern.
Moving the pocket a little bit. This is a design. I'm going to go out to my left. All the routes are going that way. Good job of getting the yardage needed for the 1st down and settling on the sideline.
So from the Jackson State 20, Southern moving the ball effectively down the field. Better than 122 yards of total offense in there. Nowhere to go for Kobe Dillon as John Brown with that tackle for a loss of 1.
John Brown with the stop for the Tigers.
In time to throw the football. You know, that previous snap, you got man-to-man coverage across the board. So Jackson State giving you a little respect, telling you we're not going to let you run the football. They're stacking the box. When they stack the box, take advantage of the matchups that you have. Another exotic formation, 2-by-2 set.
They elect to hand it off instead. Kobe Dillon straight ahead. Couple yard pickup on the play. Once more, John Brown in on the action. So now 3rd and 9 after this run here.
They're trying to spread them out, but just give credit to those guys. They've earned my respect. For Jackson State, running the football against them is tough. Led by big Jeremiah Williams and Drew Thompson. Joshua Nobles has been all over the field.
T-Set pulls it, tucks it, runs it, gets the 1st down. And B.J. Washington on the tackle. And what a big play there from T-Set.
And they give you the formation, the eye candy, to get you to just assume it's going to be a pass. Instead, it's a quarterback draw.
Continuing to move with tempo quickly out of his hands into Kobe Brown. Now it's 2nd and goal upcoming. You talked about these formations working thus far for Southern. T.C. Taylor wants a timeout, and I think he gets it.
He's seen enough. I mean, they're spreading you out, putting 4 people out there to distract you so they can run the ball and get the advantage in the running game.
And a flag in the process that flies out as well.
It'd be a personal foul. There was some extracurricular activity after the timeout was called. I'm pretty sure the Jackson State defensive back got.
Dead ball. Sportsmanlike conduct. Number 3 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. 1st down.
Just like you called it, Jay, against Robert McDaniel, the local product. And so right now, 1st and goal for Southern. They're in a position to take the lead in a game where Jackson State was heavily favored. Terrence Graves reminded us, this coaching staff reminded us that we are not the same team that we were back in September. And we have proven that to this point. And we could come out and get wins. First and goal. It would be a win if they netted 7 points here. It's T-Set who finds space and into the end zone. Just like that. Southern takes the lead.
Xavier T-Set with the touchdown run.
Xavier T-Set with his 7th touchdown of the season. And the Jaguars.
Hey, Tiff.
With a big swing.
I thought we heard people say the Southern wasn't going to come to Jackson. Well, the Jaguars are here. They made the trip from Baton Rouge down here to Jackson, Mississippi, and lo and behold, find themselves an extra point conversion to go up by a touchdown.
The touchdown it is, and Southern is on top. Xavier T-Set going behind C.J. Russell. Nice block, partner, into the end zone for the score. Unanswered points from Southern, and the Jaguars on top by a touchdown. And that means the human jukebox is in stereo right now. And just as I say that, of course, they stopped playing. But, I mean, the Jaguars fans were pumped up after that touchdown, Joe.
You see the Columbia blue flag flying around, waving it. And they had a little quiet confidence about themselves. And right now, the Jaguars showing that they can play with the big boys.
Touchback back into the end zone as it rolls out. Back of the end line. So Jackson State saw Jacobian Morgan kind of limp off the field. He's back into the huddle for more. Let's send it down to Coley.
Yeah, Tiffany and Jay, I had a chance to keep an eye on Jacobian Morgan. I'm curious to see how exactly he's going to be able to respond on this drive. I saw him limping a little bit on the sideline moments ago. Also did see him warm up before this drive. Also warming up on the sideline was his backup, Cameron McCoy. And McCoy was actually getting his arm loose with some urgency, so we'll keep an eye on Morgan as this drive develops.
Thanks so much. We will definitely pay attention to that, Coley.
You know you pay attention to? Kelby Givens. Kelby Givens, if you're not 100%, then he's definitely going to track you down. And that seems to be the problem right now is Kelby Givens and Darius Harry, the two bookends, doing a good job for Southern.
6-yard pickup from Mulligan. 2nd down and going for it all here. A long throw and it's intercepted. The Jaguars' Horatio Johnson fielded that one well.
Morgan's pass is intercepted.
And Horatio Johnson gives the Southern fans more to cheer about.
This is how you play free safety. You know, it's a great job. When you're free safety, you have free range. They talked about they love the range in this. So he's going to be here in the middle of the screen, and watch how much ground he covers to intercept this ball. Great job here. He's looking. He's looking. Are you really about to throw this ball? Look at him. Turn on the jets to make the interception. Great job by Horatio Johnson for the Jaguars.
And Horatio Johnson starting at that free safety position because Herman Bristard, the third, the normal free safety, was missing the first half because of a targeting call from last game. Now it's Southern who seems to have the momentum as C.J. Russell on the carry, gain of 3, and their best starting field possession.
And this is kind of genius what they're doing. Give me the 2x2 sets, meaning 2 wide receivers out flank, right? So that's going to be 4 people. If Jackson State accounts for them, that's 4 defensive players that have to come out. So you open up the running game. And that's what they're doing. They are going these spread formations. You have to put a body out there. And by doing so, you level the playing field with the number count.
Last 2 drives, 11 plays. They've put up 10 straight points, and now Southern continuing to move the rock, and that's C.J. Russell who's handling the duties, brought down by Reed Pulliam, a gain of 8 and a first down.
Yeah, you're not running uphill, so in running the football, it's all about number counts, or if they have 7 in the box, we've only got 6. We've got to pick a side. Well, by them spreading them, as long as you see that free safety stay high, it's a level playing field in the running game. So they've got a guy to stand on the 45, advantage Southern University trying to run the football.
And it's T-set, and that's what he adds, that extra wrinkle. The difference between Jalen Woods and Savion T-set is the greater mobility and that dual threat. T-set is adding to the running game for Southern. When you look at the numbers on the yard, they're closing in on a century mark already in this first half on the ground.
I mean, those wide receivers aren't even moving. They are lining up there, just waiting, distracting.
C.J. Russell, a gain of 1. Good pursuit of the football from the Tigers defense. So here on 3rd and 6, you would say, oh, well, it's likely a throwing situation.
3rd and 6.
However, we've seen T-set in the RPO game call his own number. And Terrence Graves eyeing that clock closely as just maybe a half-second differential between the play clock and the game clock for that 2-minute timeout. And so he's going to elect to spin his 3rd timeout there right before the 2-minute timeout. Jay, the thought process there.
Well, he doesn't have many to burn. So right now, talk it over with your freshman. Realize, hey, punting the ball is not the worst thing that can happen to you in this situation. Don't force a throw. They've gone with the exotic formation. Now you have to think they're going to change that up a little bit, and then let them know if we convert, we're in 2-minute mode. We're going to get things going. We're going to crank up the offense so we can get things going.
And just a turnaround from the last meeting until now. We talked about those 29 rushing yards, closing in on 100 today in just the first half. They were forced to be one-dimensional, so yes, that passing number obviously jumps out to you, but this is the type of game that Mark Frederick wanted to run, a more balanced attack against Jackson State here. Out of the timeout, 3rd and 6.
Look at this formation here. They are really playing mind games with them right now. You know you're going to get some type of zone, so now you call your zone buster coverage.
And Jackson State's defense stays true. Assignment football, pickup of 3. And Kendrick Grimes is going to be a few yards short. And that takes us to the 2-minute timeout. So likely punting situation for Southern when we come back.
ESPN Plus.
10-3 in favor of Southern. Well, reminding you, coming up on our All-State halftime report, Matt Berry, Joey Galloway, and Dan Mullen will have a look at a preview our All-State halftime report. Of course, here they're going to be a battle of the bands between the Human Jukebox and the Sonic Boom of the South.
And let me give my partner props. I got caught up in the emotion. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to make the celebration, but I may go for it. 2 yards, 2.5 yards, I may go for it. But you said, Jay, the defense is playing so great. Why go for it? You're exactly right. The defense is playing great. That's why they punt the ball, even though you're at that part of the field where you may think about it.
Well, thank you, partner. I appreciate that. And think about it. We've talked about the bookends. Kelby Gibbons, the SWAC Co-Defensive Player of the Year. Darius Harry has done a great job as well. And then the length in that secondary, Horatio Johnson coming up with that INT on Jackson State's last possession. So positive outcomes. And they've held the top scoring offense in the conference as Jackson State puts up nearly 37 points a game to just 3.
3 points. And the key is, all that said, they're doing great. How do you close out the half? You're off to a good start. You made the game a little bit ugly. Your defensive players are starting to cause havoc, but you must close out this half.
And they get it into the hands of Janalen Dupree, and Dupree with a big game there. And slow to get up is Jacobian Morgan, who is in pain. Coley told us before that he appeared to be injured earlier in the game with a little limp, and now he is down and is taking his time as the athletic training staff is giving him a good look. Cameron McCoy, who is the backup, getting ready if necessary. He started versus Lane in the second game of the year. They wanted to evaluate him as well, just as they're still looking at that lower left leg of Jacobian Morgan.
The problem he had here is this was a slip screen, so the offensive line's thought, okay, just throw him out the way. But he threw him out the way, and too many jerseys got there, and you see he just got rolled up on the backside.
A good sign that he trots out onto the sideline under his own power. And now, even though McCoy was getting ready, it's Zy McDonald who comes in. So the McDonald, the junior, immediately takes off and picks up the first down. Broke down at the 49-yard line by Johnson.
His carry for Zy McDonald.
McDonald, the quarterback from right up the road, Ridgeland High School, transfer from Louisiana. When he's in the game, they're going to run the football.
We talked about how naturally gifted he is as an athlete. Pass out of his hands, and Travis Terrell, a little stutter step. And the Tigers sensing something going here with just over a minute to go. First down there.
And this is the most life we've really seen from this offense. The fans are on the edge of their seat. Third string quarterbacks in the game as they're trying to gain some momentum going into the locker room.
Now, stepped out of bounds, so the clock stops. No timeouts for Jackson State. No timeouts. So they've got to try to punch it into the end zone or set themselves up for a field goal as Gibbons tried to give chase. McDonald getting away. Flag comes out even though the crowd erupts.
McDonald on the carry. There's a flag on the play.
Likely in the area of a hold, and you can judge by the reaction of the Jackson State coaching staff on the sideline as the flag came out right in front of them.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 3.
Oh!
Automatic, first down.
A huge swing there.
I thought they missed the hold.
Yeah.
How he was able to get outside
The ball is down
with
at
that
the
much
4-yard
room.
line. Tigers of Jackson State, first and goal.
And so now this Jaguar defense facing some adversity. First and goal from the Southern 2-yard line. Jackson State looking to even up this ball game, and Irv Mulligan, who stood up, and guess who's there? Kelby Gibbons. Well, now the continuation went into the end zone, but they whistled that play.
Yeah, and you have to, because one, you're not allowed to play without a helmet, right? So his helmet was taken off. So if the helmet's off, then you got to call the penalty. So good job of them whistling this play dead.
Due to number 5 helmet coming off, it qualified for a 10-second runoff. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 51 seconds.
One of the rules I don't agree with.
Clock to 51 seconds. The clock will start on my signal.
We had a game earlier this year, so because the helmet came off on the offensive player, 10-second runoff.
And so that's Amari Matthews in. He tries to boulder ahead, and it's a touchdown. Matthews, third TD of the season. And Jackson State coming right back with an answer. That was a huge face mask penalty after the big game from Jackson State. Set them up inside the 5. And the Tigers able to capitalize, going 6 plays, 84 yards in just over a minute. And Beza with an opportunity to tie up this ball game, and does so.
Okay, so you say it was a huge face mask penalty, right? I'm going to say it was a huge missed call. We thought it was holding. Take a look right here. This is where the action is. This matchup here, as the play progresses, do they grab Jelani Davis? Break the pocket. Is he holding him? Is he holding him?
Yes.
That's a hold. That's where we saw the flag fly. So if that holding penalty is called, which the flag's right there, they ended up calling the face mask instead. Tough break for Southern University, but great job by Jackson State of taking advantage of the opportunity.
Yep.
But that's a hold.
Well, it was right in front of the Jackson State sideline, and the coaches even reacted like, "Oh no, man, that wasn't a hold. Let the play go," which was all the more telling.
But boy, did Jackson State need that drive. We talked about them grabbing some momentum into the half. Southern not able to keep the momentum. Jackson State able to put together a drive. Zy McDonald electrifying this crowd with his legs and his running ability.
And Southern, who got the ball to start the game, so that means Jackson State will get the football coming out of the locker room. 39 seconds to go in this first half. And here on the return is Southern. They don't have any timeouts to work with. 34 seconds remaining. And if you're Terrence Graves,
don't do anything.
You just run out the clock and head into the locker room.
Run out the clock. It's 10-10. It's tied. What did Coach Graves tell us before? If we're in this game late, I like our chances. Well, after a half of football, we don't know who the better team is yet on the scoreboard. I'm not trusting my young quarterback to throw in this situation.
Wisely handing it off to Kobe Dillon. And that should
Dillon with the carry.
Be the last play of
2nd and 9, Southern.
The first half. And wow, what a fun start to this SWAC championship game, as Southern and Jackson State tied at 10 apiece. These fans, you viewers, in store for a wonderful second half here from the vet. Let's send it down to Coley Harvey, who's on the sideline with Coach Haley.
Well, Coach, first of all, we saw your starting quarterback, Jacobian Morgan, leave the field. How is he right now?
He's got banged up a little bit. I think it was his ankle right there, got rolled up a little bit. So we'll evaluate him here at halftime, see if he can go in the second half.
Now, you went with Zy McDonald as your backup quarterback there on the last drive instead of Cameron. Explain that decision for us.
He brings something a little different to the game. He's a guy that can, a dual threat guy, can run the ball around a little bit. Just wanted to get him going, use his legs a little bit, though. He did a great job of, getting us down there and getting the score.
Your defense in the last game against Southern held them under 30 yards rushing. Today, Southern's at about 100. What does your defense need to do in the second half to stop that?
They're playing with a little more tempo. Southern is. They're doing a good job. So we got to get lined up, get the calls in a little faster, and just play, our style of football. Second half right here, we'll make our adjustments and come out here and, play better football on defense.
All right, thanks very much, Coach.
Well, thanks so much, Coley, as it was an exciting start to the 2024 SWAC Championship. These rivals going head-to-head. A trip to the Cricket Celebration Bowl on the line. It's all time.
You're watching Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
Welcome back to the SWAC Championship as a part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Halftime here at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Jackson, Mississippi. Southern and Jackson State tied at 10 apiece. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green back here with you.
Was that a show?
Huh?
Well, that was one of the best halftime shows
That was
we've
an
seen.
outstanding
that Christmas
halftime
tribute by the Sonic Boom of the South, first class.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Human Jukebox did their thing as well. It was belting out Michael Jackson tunes. All right, so let's look at that first half and how we got to this point. Tightly contested game, and Kelby Gibbons helped to keep the Jaguars doing their thing.
I mean, Jackson State is a high-powered offense. They come in averaging 36 points a game, have not hit their number yet because the bookends, Kelby Gibbons and Darius Harry, have gotten the job done. Gibbons proven why he's such a high NFL prospect years to come from now.
Well, taking a look at the stats in the first half, you see 97 yards picked up on the ground from Southern, 112 for Jackson State. That was one of the stories or tales of the tape that we were going to pay attention to. Was there something else that jumped out to you, Jay?
The fact that Southern has 97 yards rushing, and they have not been able to run the football. Jackson State is winning the battle, controlling the line of scrimmage, but the efficiency, 5 of 9 on third down conversion, that's the key for Southern University. They've been able to stay on the field and win the time of possession.
Jacobian Morgan, who is banged up going into the locker room. We'll see who starts at quarterback for them. Meanwhile, we know exactly the known quantity that is Kelby Gibbons. This Jaguar defense will be ready to take the field again. SWAC Co-Defensive Player of the Year looks on as third corner. Just got started here on the return, and Jackson State has an opportunity. And watch out for this speedster, the true freshman, Travis Terrell Jr. just tripped up. That could have been a touchdown saving tackle made by Marcus Bourne, because this young man is absolutely electrifying, and you heard the volume starting to raise as he got further and further.
And I remember we did a Jackson State game earlier this season, and they came in there saying, well, we expect Travis Terrell to run a kickback. One way or the other, a punt return or a kick return, and he did in that game, and he almost broke one to the house just then.
Let's hear more from the third member of our team, Coley Harvey, on the sideline.
Well, Tiffany, at half, I spoke with Southern head coach Terrence Grave, and he said that this drive for his defense was of the utmost importance. He said that we played very well in the first half on defense, but in this half, we have to set the tone, and we know that we can do that with this drive. Let's see what happens.
Thanks so much, Coley, and Darius Harry right there to jump on it as Zy McDonald starting the second half. We saw him come in late in the second quarter for the injured Jacobian Morgan, and T.C. Taylor electing to go with McDonald, who he mentioned says can do a lot of things.
He gave him a spark, you know, and to go back to Coley's point there about coming out of the locker room at halftime, so often when we do these games and the halftime shows so much energy, the stadium gets a little flat. Well, Jackson State cannot afford to be flat. They're in a tough football game. They need to get the energy going. The Sonic Boom is marching back to their seats, a little quiet. They got to pick it up.
Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Have you noticed that at the games we do? You know, you come out, you get hyped up, and then while the band is not available to you, teams come out a little bit flat. The stadium, the crowd gets a little bit flat. You got to pick it up. This is a championship game.
I think that was part of the importance of Terrell kind of trying to get some energy in this stadium, and McDonald took a hit but delivered the pass to Jameel Gardner Jr., who can't be taken down just yet. And finally, he's brought down from behind by Herman Brister III. Gain of 28, and Gardner has been the primary target so far today.
Yeah, how about the throw? Standing in the pocket, getting hit from the blind side, and then great run after catch by Gardner to pick up more yardage.
Moving quickly with tempo, and that's Irv Mulligan. Mulligan with a good gain ahead of 6.
As a quarterback, you know you have to get rid of that ball quickly, but he absolutely gets walloped on the backside before completion. As a quarterback, if you complete the ball, that didn't hurt at all. If it's incomplete, I may stay on the ground a little bit, milk it a little bit, make my line feel bad.
Some theatrics there. Okay, so the inside look at the quarterback position from one of the HBCU greats. Thank you, Jay.
It's just facts.
And Mulligan with the carry again. Starting to do some jawing as well after the play.
Things are getting chippy out there, you know. I don't know if Jackson State expected this to be a close football game like it is, so I know Coach T.C. Taylor went in there and fired him up in the locker room. So far, been a good response by his offense.
And like they say here, fired up, J-State, fired up. Let's see if they can on this possession as McDonald gets through, has some blocking out ahead, the 20 to 10, and he's pushed out at the 6-yard line, maybe closer to the 5 of Southern.
I mean, look at this, low snap, but still design quarterback run, gets to the outside. Look at the speed on display by Zion McDonald.
Junior out of Ridgeland, Mississippi, has a 1st and goal for his team, and Mulligan, who is quickly stopped there, but McDonald, who has quickly come in as that spark plug needed for the Tigers.
Well, I would say it's getting chippy down there on the field. Fights between, almost fights, we'll call them near fights, between wide receivers and defensive backs on running plays.
And this is something that is expected in the sense of understanding that this is a rivalry, understanding that a championship game, a chance to play for $1 million in the Cricket Celebration Bowl next week, 2 very passionate fan bases. Man in motion, low snap once again handled by McDonald, gets it up, and pass incomplete, but a flag comes out. Elijah West was on the coverage, the nickelback for the Jaguars.
And they're going to call him for pass interference. He was
Number 4.
draped over him
occurred in the end zone.
on the crossing route.
Place at the 2-yard line. Automatic, 1st down.
See the crossing route here. Yeah, pretty easy call for the official to make. Elijah West a little too close for comfort. McDonald's going to, he should fake it here and call his own number. Fake the handoff, call your own number, take off on the edge.
Instead, the big guy, Irv Mulligan, oh my goodness, muscles his way into the end zone. Hard runner, indeed. Strong cat, for sure. Irv Mulligan, and he wanted it. I mean, through this series, he was getting a little mouthy down there on the field, and now he's got something to talk about as Jackson State is back on top thanks to his touchdown.
Well, they have a stat they call yards after contact. And right there, he was met at the line of scrimmage for no gain, kept the legs going, showed the strength. That's where all the offseason workouts pay off, lifting weights, pumping iron. Able to drag a defender to the end zone to give Jackson State the lead.
14 unanswered points going back to that first half, Jay, and this one, grown man run.
Look at that. Keep it going right there. And right now, you know what they're saying? Fired up, J-State, fired up.
It's a pennant.
My whole life is a commercial.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
Let's see who's bringing the flavor today, brought to you by McDonald's. Jay, high stepping, high knees. Can you do that, bro?
Back in the day, I could.
Sonic Boom of the South, Human Jukebox, both belting out sounds, and certainly been rocking in this stadium. There is a battle in the stands, indeed.
2 of the top 5 bands, 2 of my top 5 favorite bands. Great performance at halftime, and got a good football game, got a good atmosphere, got a great environment, and a lot at stake.
And I loved what the Human Jukebox did at the half, because coming in to the game, they felt like they were the underdog. They said, we are the underdog, and they kind of played the Rocky theme there to play it up all the more. The Jaguars on the return, that's Kobe Brown, and Brown brought down. Meanwhile, neither Jackson State, Sonic Boom of the South, they were in the top 2 last year. They competed in the Band of the Year competition for Division I. This year, it'll be North Carolina A&T's Blue and Gold Marching Machine, and Florida A&M's Marching 100 that will be in Atlanta next year. Southern just outside.
A&T won the Battle of the Bands last year in the competition, and they're trying to go wire to wire. They've been the #1 ranked band all season long. Can they repeat? And something tells me your 100 going to have something to say about that.
Loses the football after the reception, and Jackson State comes up with it. Cameron Smith with the recovery as Tyler Kirkwood fumbled the football. And what a big swing of events right here.
They have one chance. You have to hope if you're Southern, you wonder, was the knee down? That's the only chance they've got. Athletic move, full control. Knee's down. But ball's out.
I was going to say that was really close as
close.
Cameron Smith, who made a great play here, stripping the football right before Kirkwood knee came down. And the redshirt junior out of Cleveland, Ohio, gives the ball back to the offense.
This place is getting a little rowdy.
30-second timeout.
So Terrence Graves spending a 30-second timeout, hoping that they'll take a look at that one and review. But when we looked at those last couple of replays, Jay, it looked like it was a clean strip and fumble of the football.
Yeah, and the ball comes out quickly as well. You'll see the ball starting to move right
there.
It's out.
Yep.
Before the knee is down. You can look at it, but play on the field. Great job by Cameron Smith.
In this situation, if you were Terrence Graves, would you have used a timeout here? Because understanding they're at a premium, you've got 2 remaining.
And you're trailing. So this is not the first half. You need to have those timeouts for late in the game. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them.
Each team with a turnover apiece. Best starting field position for the Tigers. Travis Terrell Jr. gets the handoff in the backfield. No gain on the play. Well, touchdowns in the last 2 drives for Jackson State. And can this Southern defense, who we talked about in the first half, was able to hold up and try to slow down that Tiger offense, can they come up with a big stop here and keep the score the way that it is, trailing by a touchdown? Quick cut inside. And he's going to bring up 3rd and 6.
This is what you set it up for. You were talking about the turnover. Can they keep the score the same? Right now, 3rd down. If they can stop and force a punt, that's a win for this Jaguar defense.
And an injured player down for Southern. Trying to get a look at who it is. It's Terrence Graves coming to check on one of his players. Thought it would be, I think we saw number 11, Darius Harry. Trying to confirm it if it is indeed 11 in Columbia Blue. The senior from New Orleans, Louisiana, gets up. And that's a good sign, as, again, you talked about just the complementary play of the bookends, both Gibbons and Harry.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because right now this may be the most important down that this defense has faced. 3rd and 5, passing situation. Your starting defensive end, who's played a really good football game for you, has to go to the sideline, sit out of play, and watch. Interesting to watch this matchup between Kelby Gibbons and Quavion Davis. The right tackle for Jackson State. They've been really going at it, jawing at each other. we'll keep an eye on that matchup.
So Jelani Davis comes in for the injured Darius Harry on 3rd and 6. And the pass into the hands and complete. That's Jonas Fortillion. Fortillion, his first reception of the game. Pickup of 10 yards.
Another low snap. Watch the quarterback go grab the ball off the ground. Really good ball skills, able to grab that ball off the ground and release it quickly. But that's when he needs to talk to his center and say, you've been very inaccurate with the snaps.
And Mulligan, the run spun down. And Irv Mulligan, who has been a workhorse all season long, 15 carries so far this afternoon, 67 yards.
Take a look at that matchup there. We said, told you 79 to number 1. This is the running play going away from them, but they're going at it pretty good. It's been fun to watch that battle.
If you're just tuning in, it was Jackson State got on the board first, 10 unanswered by Southern before even at 10 apiece going into the locker room and trying to extend the lead even more, and a dropped pass from Janalen Dupree, who had points written all over that one too.
And I'm sure Dupree had a hard time locating the football. He was in a lot of traffic. There were 3 Southern University defenders up there, but a lot of air on this ball, a little bit more than you're used to seeing, and he tried to locate it the last second. Missed opportunity for a touchdown, though.
Well, how about Zion McDonald, the way that he's come in? That was just his first incompletion, so has gone 3 of 4, moved the football, very effective with his legs as well. Can he manage to pick up another 3rd down? No, says the Jaguars defense. Coverage sack, well, team sack there is Kelby Givens. There he is, that guy again, that man, along with Jelani Davis.
And this is that matchup we've been talking about. So he gets around him to make him step up in the pocket, but he's not done. He's not done, and this time he's got some homeboys with him. He brought the defensive line and the linebacker, Derek Williams, on the blitz to contain the mobile quarterback.
Important sack there, 45-yard attempt, pushes Beza out. The kick is up, and it is true and through. Beza's got one of those strong legs, edges out this lead a little bit further. A 2-score advantage for Jackson State. You feel some type of way about
I do, and I'm a big Cam Ward fan.
Yeah.
I would love to see him in a playoff game in that type of atmosphere and environment.
He's a Heisman hopeful. Ashton Genty with Boise State.
You can be hopeful all you want to.
Hey, look,
Travis Hunter's the best college football player in the country.
Well, he's the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, and he, along with Shedeur Sanders, the Offensive Player of the Year, Big 12, both started their careers at Jackson State, winning a couple of SWAC titles.
You know, everybody around here would love for Travis Hunter to win that Heisman Trophy. I mean, he brought a lot of great memories to these folks here in Jackson. Shedeur Sanders as well, Shiloh, Dylan Craig, all those guys.
And still some players from those SWAC championship teams for Jackson State. Meanwhile, Southern, who leads the all-time series against the Tigers, now in a tough position, playing from behind as trying to keep the wheels on.
All start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Going against Jerron Lewis, the redshirt sophomore, fourth false start penalty.
And on the shift they move, and you know what? They got to be close if you're Jackson, because now they're starting to penalize teams for doing that. If it's organized in sync like that, I have a feeling if a play like that occurs again, they may penalize the defense.
1st and 15, and Kendrick Rhymes tries to slither through. Short gain. True Thompson was there on the stop. Correction, that was Kobe Dillon.
I want to see what adjustments they're going to make. They had success running the football with the exotic formation. Spread them out so you can even up the number count and then run downhill.
Under 7.5 to go in the third. T set on second down, and it was right there, in and out of the hands of Jermaine Minor Jr. The tight end couldn't hold on to it. But a flag on the far side of the field.
You know, just running the slant route. A pretty good job by the linebacker of staying with him after initially allowing the tight end to cross his face.
Illegal touches on the offense, number 84. Number 84 was covered and went downfield and touched the ball. 5-yard penalty, loss of down, third down.
We say the exotic formations have been the key, but when you shift that way and he was lined up in the slot, you got to make sure he's not covered. Look at those legends right there.
Yeah. Totten to your right, Fred McNair to your left. Fred McNair, who's used to coaching in this game. There's Willie Totten in there. Fred McNair to his left. He was there with Alcorn State. They were in the SWAC Championship a number of times. And there, the pass complete. And Dupree Fuller Jr. trying to wrestle his way back to near the line of scrimmage. And so fourth down. And this is one of the things that Terrence Graves told us earlier in this week. He said, hey, look, we can't be in a trail position. We can't be in a position where we're chasing points. And right now, the offense not doing much here. And the defense has got to find a way to slow down Jackson State as Travis Terrell, the return man, and nowhere to go. Is good play on special teams there by Cam Jefferson. While we have time, it's a tradition that we do each broadcast, my partner and I, and it's time for Jay's Give Me 5.
All right, Tiff, how about this? How big is this SWAC championship game? The top 5 things you need to know: the star players. They're on display. You're talking about Mulligan. You're talking about Gibbons. The food been outstanding. Food. It's been halftime. We saw the dancing dolls, and you got to see the J sets go along with it. Two of the most loyal fan bases. And let's not forget, at the end of the day, it's $1 million at stake with a trip to the Celebration Bowl. And I got to talk about my on the bubble after this play.
Irv Mulligan with a strong run and a gain of 8 on the play. Okay, so I like that because Ivan Johnson had some fall off the bone ribs earlier.
Oh,
so
my man, hooked him up with the ribs. But the on the bubble, the music, right? There's music everywhere. Nah, when you're down here in Mississippi, there's one type of music. It's that blues that go with it, that King George. I've become a huge King George fan. I mean, the kid is 25. He sounds like he's 45 or 60, but the music is special down here. Those are my 5 things that you have to observe that I love about this SWAC championship game.
I dig it. I love the music in the stands. Like, indeed, this is a back and forth affair. It goes on pregame, throughout the game, and then the 5th quarter afterwards. So I vibes with the music on the bubble. And looking to run, and no room to escape and get out of the way. No gain on the play for Zion McDonald, brought down by Horatio Johnson. Jay, I'm going to chime in with my 2 cents really quickly, but let's see this little tempo offense they got going for Jackson State. They're moving here on 2nd and 10. Amari Matthews now in the backfield.
Have you noticed they've changed their pass rush angles as well with McDonald in the game? They're just trying to bottle them up. They're not sacrificing, giving up the outside.
Low throw and the pass incomplete. So you talked about this earlier, Jay. I'm going to chime in with the 2 cents here because, yes, the Blue Bloods. These are 2 Blue Blood programs, 3 SWAC championships apiece, 11 HBCU national titles for Southern, 3-time champion for Jackson State, and coaches first. I think this is a special game, right? So Terrence Graves has been in this game as an assistant under Pete Richardson. Chance for him to win it first as a head coach. Same thing with T.C. Taylor, assistant now turned head coach. Can he get his first SWAC title? On 3rd and 10, chased out the pocket And through the hands of the receiver, and McDonald is helped up. And good job by the Southern defense to hold there.
They made some adjustments. So they know that McDonald's in the game. It's a little bit different offense that you get. So the key thing is you have to keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get outside. And you have to be able to bring him down. I like your 2 cents, but you should have just changed the order.
Should have changed the order?
Yeah, because if it's going to be first, it's number 1, right? So number 1 should have been coaches first. One of these coaches is going to win their first championship. I have to make that 1, 2.
I feel that. I can feel that.
Oh, he shanked it.
So now the question marks on offense for Southern. Can they figure something out and move the ball? Trailing by 15 playoff. It all starts at noon Eastern after Sunday NFL Countdown on ESPN and the app. Strong running up ahead. Now let's see what kind of adjustments Mark Frederick makes to try to get the ball moving for Southern.
So you feel what I'm feeling. Like, moment of truth for Southern right now. You know, the defense got the stop. You're down by 2 possessions. You got to chip away somewhat at that lead, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. But it's pretty much an imperative drive right here for the Jaguars.
Can they execute? We've seen them be opportunistic. We've seen them have success in the run game back in the first half. And now T-Set's got to make some plays. And tough pass there. As Shamar Hawkins, who has been a ball hawk today, was around that one. Tyler Kirkwood was the intended target.
I mean, plenty of time, only a 3-person rush. Might have got there a little bit early with the contact.
3rd and 7, Southern from their own 31-yard line.
Five for 10 on 3rd downs for this Southern crew.
Man-to-man coverage up top. Win your battle. Pick one receiver and go up top.
Protection is there. Man was there and just missed Tyler Kirkwood up the seam. That was Darren Morris.
When they show you man-to-man coverage, and you got a little pocket there, not a lot of time, but man-to-man, you just find your best matchup. Who's your game breaker? I would have found Chandler Whitfield in that situation. That's how you try to force the ball to somebody like that. We really have not called Whitfield's name a lot.
I was going to say, we have not called his name much, and that was one of the players that they said we've got to key in on and get touches. High skying kick, and Terrell with a fair catch on the 35-yard line. Jackson State, they have seen success since Zion McDonald has come in, scored on the 3 of the 4 possessions since he entered the ball game late in that second quarter. And what did T.C. Taylor remind us? He was like, hey guys, we have had success against Southern the last 5 games. We've put up big wins against the Jaguars in the last 5 meetings. Let's do what we did back on September 14th. And the Tigers running the football with Irv Mulligan, and Irv Mulligan got a little hit there, extra bump while he was out of bounds, and tack on 15 to that. So 12-yard run, another 15, and that's going to be a 27-yard gain.
Yeah, he's clearly on the white when he hit him.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 32 on the defense. 15-yard penalty for the end of the run. Automatic, first down.
And if you're Henry Miller, the defensive coordinator, you've got to be disappointed in Vincent Page Jr., understanding that your defense is helping to keep you in this ball game. You can't make mistakes like that and give Jackson State any extra help.
you're Jackson State right now, you think you got the better team. Now you prove it. You increase the lead. You want to start to eliminate hope from Southern.
Jameel Gardner with the reception. West on the tackle. And for this Jackson State team, came in with a lot of expectations. Expecting to be back here, and Irv Mulligan has been a guy that they have relied on all season long. I mean, ever since he stepped foot on the field for this 2024 campaign, he's helped to carry the way.
Man, very effective run right here. And we talked about what a good runner he is in between the tackles, but there, when called upon to make the bounce, has the ability to do that as well. Talk about Irv Mulligan is in the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. Irv Mulligan.
Out of Beaufort, South Carolina. He takes a breather as Travis Terrell Jr. in the backfield. He flanks out of motion. And Zy McDonald all the way up the middle, and Zy McDonald is trying to get around, and he's in! Touchdown, Zy McDonald! This guy can make things happen with his feet. 23 yards later, he's in for the score.
He's shifty. You know, design quarterback, draw, they pull the tackle and the tight end, and the rest is all Zy McDonald. Gets a block downfield from the wide receiver, but once he put eyes on the safety, set him up with a little dip move to the inside, then bounced it back outside for the score.
T.C. Taylor telling the crowd to get fired up. Jackson State has been electrified since Zy McDonald, the backup, has come in. 6 rushes, 96 yards, and yeah, he's rewarded with a touchdown.
A really good kick-out block by number 88, Marvin Landy, the tight end. As he comes across the formation, that's the seal block right here. Wham! Once you get the linebacker squared up that way, the rest becomes Zy McDonald finishing off the run.
Well, Jackson State has started to run away with this one. Scored 24 unanswered points, to the point of the impact that he has made since entering the ball game.
Can we give a shout out to Jackson State? I mean, winning helps a whole lot of things, but the support they showed his team. #1 in attendance in FCS football this year. Consecutive years leading the way. The SWAC as a whole, as a conference, #1 in attendance for football games, and Jackson State is #1 overall.
Well, that's what T.C. Taylor talked about, the excitement for this team, the coaching staff, the fan base. He's like, even when we're on the road, it feels like a home game for us. And many of the faces that he saw when he was a player still come out and support now as he stands on the sideline as the head coach. Kobe Brown on the return, and Kobe Brown getting to the outside, got some room, across the 30-yard line, and then Sutter steps out of bounds. Well, there's the Taco Bell Live Moss student section all season long. Student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Moss student section of the year. Download that Taco Bell app to learn more.
You get free taco with that?
You did get some free tacos, yeah. Well, we already know that TC would definitely vote this fan base as one of the crunkest. But what have you seen across our travels, Jay? Because you talked about the SWAC as a whole always does a really nice job of supporting their team.
Everybody always says, I come to Jackson, you always give Jackson a hard time. Take Jackson. You're going to passionate fan base. They're up there. Florida A&M. I mean, them Rattlers, they're almost crazy with theirs. They're passionate. Southern University, Alcorn, the sleeper. Alcorn's the sleeper.
Dropped the football, picked it back up. T-Set gets the ball out, and it's complete to Darren Morris. 13-yard pickup and a first down. And that's so cool because we were part of the championship game in the SWAC when they moved it back to home stadiums. And Alcorn State and Southern were a part of those first two. As that one nearly intercepted.
Twice. How do you almost throw 2 picks on one play?
Reed Pulliam got a hand on it. Keevrick Wiggins Jr. as well.
A lot of velocity on this one, but Pulliam got the first shot right there. And then Wiggins has another shot. Now, see, this is what you do. As a quarterback, erase that play. All right, I made a mistake. You didn't capitalize on it. Now I got to cut you. Now I got to hurt you.
T-set one-on-one. Darren Morris has got a man streaking down the sideline, and it's overthrown and out of bounds. Nickel Robert McDaniel was on the coverage.
They had that. That's the look that they wanted. One-on-one, take your deep shot. The receiver did a good job, got behind the defensive back, but T-set threw the ball out of bounds, about 5 yards out of bounds. Inaccurate throw.
And you said it already, Jay, but 19 for Southern. Chandler Whitfield. Where has he been? And can they get him the football? He's one of their leaders, their top receiver. And T-set in trouble, scrambling, able to pick up the first down as he skirts out of bounds.
This is one of those little oops runs. Right? So watching the drop back. Okay, I got some pressure. I'm leaving this way. Oh, no, I'm not. Somebody's waiting on me. Oops, let me get back in the middle and then find the correct running lane.
Timeout. Jackson State. That's their first charge timeout of the half. It will be a 30-second timeout.
Jackson State spins the timeout here. And if you're just tuning in, the Tigers going undefeated in SWAC play. This is an institution that was founded in 1877. Hall of Famers like Walter Payton, Lynn Barney, Jackie Slater, Robert Brazil came through this fine institution, better than 6,300 under the direction of Marcus L. Thompson.
They need to add a name to that, and not us graphically. The Pro Football Hall of Fame needs to add a name to that.
Okay.
Jimmy Smith.
You have long advocated
Jimmy Smith
for
should be
Jimmy
in the Pro
Smith.
Football Hall of Fame. He was a bad boy when he played, arguably one of the greatest Jacksonville Jaguars in the history of the franchise. Legendary receiver. Jimmy Smith should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
More than a decade spent in the National Football League. Again, collapsing pocket, T-set, making something happen with his legs. And again, it was Jalen Woods who was slated to start this game. T-set, who started the game back on September 14th, gets the start here because Woods not available to go because of concussion protocol.
And the good thing for them, T-set has started a game before. He was a starter at the beginning of the season and kind of just lost his job. Good throw.
Great into the hands of Dupree Fuller Jr. And you talked about the way that they like to use their tight ends, and that's been one of the ways they've been most effective in the passing game.
Yeah, if I were a tight end, I'd take a hard look at going to Southern University because the tight ends are active. They flex them, they put them in blocking positions, and they find ways to get them the football.
Right there, the sack coming up the middle. That's Ashton Taylor. And Taylor, one of the best talents on the defense, according to their coordinator. Size, speed, length, and there he showed the unabated ability to just go right up the middle. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Well, Jackson State separated themselves, outscoring Southern 17-0 in that third. 27-10 as we head to the fourth quarter, as we welcome you back to the SWAC Championship as a part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Terrence Graves, the Southern head coach, bringing his entire team onto the field in between the quarters. And you don't see that very often, Jay, to address the squad about the importance of this final period.
And let them know it's all on the line. It's gut check time. Strap up your chin strap a little bit tighter. Give me everything you got right now for these last 15 minutes.
Not on the same page as his receiver, and T-set with the incompletion. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green along with Coley Harvey down on the sideline. And winner of this one moves on to the Cricket Celebration Bowl to face off against the MEAC champion at South Carolina State Bulldogs in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium next Saturday, December 14th. Woo!
It'll be a good one. And right now, if you're playing quarterback for Southern University, T-set, you cannot take a sack. You're in field goal range right now. Can't take a sack. Protect the football.
They elect to run it. Kendrick Rhymes with some space. Kendrick Rhymes won't go down. And B.J. Washington bringing him down. The offense, will they elect to stay on the field, or will they bring the kicking unit on? And
this is a good job of just getting a harm on him to slow him down, because if he doesn't get turned around by Ashton Taylor there, might have picked up the first down with a head of steam. But you kick it in this situation to make it a 2-possession game. Right now you're down by 17. That's 3 possessions. You make it 2 possessions, and then you chip away, hopefully make it a 1-possession game.
This one from 27 yards out. All right, Ash, for Joshua Griffin, the lefty, and puts it through. So making it a 2-possession game indeed after that field goal. Well, let's take a look at some news and notes around the HBCU world. Congratulations to both Willie Simmons, the former Florida A&M head coach, now over to FIU. Sean Gibbs returns to North Carolina A&T, part of that championship culture for the Aggies as he takes over for Vincent Brown. Jay, you had an opportunity to watch Eddie George lead the Tigers in that FCS playoff against Montana.
Coach George, as I call him now. I used to call him Heisman. Now I call him Coach George. Is really on to something there in Nashville. Tennessee State, really good football team there. Not only was he the Big South OVC Coach of the Year, national Eddie Robinson Award, which goes to the FCS Coach of the Year, he came in second, runner-up. So people realize and recognize the job that he's doing with Big Blue at Tennessee State.
And how about the Division II HBCU programs in both Miles College and Virginia Union making the Division II playoffs?
Historic run right there. Sam Shea doing the thing at Miles College down in Alabama, and Virginia Union still continuing to play. Historic run for them. They won first and second round games.
Up man receives it here for Jackson State on the kickoff. And now Jackson State was moved the ball really well over the last 5 drives. They figured something out. They were slow running in that first half. And you've got to credit Southern's defense for just holding them to 10 points through 2 quarters. But you look at those last 5 drives, 4 out of the 5 have come out with scores.
Donald came in with a spark, and this one you thought they figured him out and slowed him down a little bit. The running game really picked it up, and Mulligan started to make an impact.
Zion McDonald's done a great job on the ground as well. Hands it off to Irv Mulligan, and Mulligan a short gain.
Irv Mulligan with the carry.
Well, Mulligan, as we've talked about, Player of the Year on offense in the conference, began his career at Wofford and then made the transition over to Jackson State. His last season was his first season with the program, and TC Taylor just loves the young man that he is and all that he's brought to this program. And Mulligan again carrying defenders with him in the process. And Irv Mulligan, who has dealt with a lot on and off the field, as we send it down to Coley Harvey with more. Having technical difficulties with Coley, so we'll come back to him in just a moment. As Mulligan kind of gimping off the sideline. Here on 3rd and 3, number of guys in the box for Southern, and they're able to stop him here on 3rd down, and Davin Cotton was the first to get to him.
This was the perfect play call they had there. They dialed up a run-stopping blitz to keep the quarterback in the pocket. He had nobody to option off of. Good job by defensive coordinator Henry Miller. Dialing it up, making a 3-and-out, giving the ball back to the offense.
So Knoll back to punt it away. Gets it away, Kendrick Rhymes. Lets that one bounce into the end zone for the touchback. Knoll will get me after that punt once again for the Tigers, and Southern football will return. 93 points a game under first-year head coach Mark Pope. Gotta love the job that he has done back at Big Blue. On first down, taking a shot, and an interception as Robert McDaniel comes up with it. McDaniel, who's got all the tools, very confident in his abilities, and there makes a great play, comes up with the INT.
And this is a matchup we've been trying to look at. When are you going to get your star player involved in Whitfield? So they're going to go to the outside. This is the matchup, and you're going to see just straight up, no way around it. Robert McDaniel wins that matchup. The ball was underthrown a little bit. As a wide receiver, you have to put yourself in a position to make that play. Good coverage by McDaniel. Jackson State fired up.
Daniel from right here in Jackson. Another turnover for Southern. And already in a Jags territory. Underneath, there's Travis Terrell with some space. He wiggles out of bounds. So second down and about 5 or 6 to go.
Second down, second and 5.
Inside, McDonald, who has really come in and given this team a lift. Skies that one too high for Gardner, but he's given the team a lift, the lift that they have needed, as took over for Jacobian Morgan back in that first half. And I think, you know, you start to kind of ask the question, if Jackson State holds on, who starts in the Christian Celebration Bowl? I'm not trying to start trouble. I'm just merely asking a question.
There you go. And, I like to give credit to T.C. Taylor going with this third-string quarterback. He could have gone with the backup, Cameron McCoy, but he said, there's something I want to bring into this game. And when you're the play caller and the head coach, you got your pick of the litter. And it looks like he made the right decision in going with Ty McDonald.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
It's against the all-conference tackle Evan Henry.
And for Jackson State, great opportunity right now. Put some points on the board, increase this lead. 3rd and 10. Chances aren't looking too good. Southern's has got to come up with a big play defensively.
Airing it out. And in position to bring that one in is Rodney Johnson Jr. So credit him with the INT. Second-year starter for the junior out of New Orleans. And he looks the part at corner, and he comes up with his first interception of the season.
On the field, through a player injury.
Johnson's a fantastic football player. McDonald seems to be down on the field. We'll see and talk about it when we come back.
National champion.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Back here at the vet, and Rodney Johnson coming up with the interception for the Southern Jaguars. And as as we take you to the AT&T is keeping you connected with your bracket insights. Make sure you sign up at ESPN.com for the first ever CFB bracket challenge. So look here at Zy McDonald, not what you want to see, as he has been the standout in this game. An excellent performance for him. Third string quarterback for the Tigers going back to the locker room. So that's the second quarterback that's been knocked out of the game thus far for Jackson State. Tough starting field position for the Jaguars. And there is Ashton Taylor with the TFL, bringing down Kobe Dillon behind the line of scrimmage. The redshirt sophomore out of Hoover, Alabama, pushes him back 2 yards.
And 10 minutes to go in this game, you got to open up the passing attack.
And Noah Bodden, who started the season at quarterback, he comes in now and delivers a dime right in the middle of the field to Jermaine Minor Jr. So pickup of 20, fresh into the game for Noah Bodden.
Yeah, what do we say about Southern University? They like to use their tight ends. So Noah Bodden comes in, he's got experience. He knows find the tight end. Good tight end is a quarterback's best friend.
On the field for a player in.
An injured Jackson State player on the field. So a temporary timeout here, and Paul's in the game.
That's why you have to think, Southern University, they're giving you a little glimmer of hope is still there. If you can score quick, Jackson State's probably going to be playing with their third quarterback, their third string guy. You don't expect the offense to continue to put up points as he finds a rhythm. So if you can score on an explosive play, defense get a stop, and then try and get back in this game.
You saw the three quarterbacks there for Southern. Xavion T-Set, who started the game. Jalen Woods, who was unavailable today. You see the numbers for T-Set, 12 of 22, 147 yards and an interception. And now the third quarterback that the Jaguars have on the field, and Noah Bodden, junior out of Valley Stream, New York, started his career with Grambling State before coming over to the Jaguars. Bodden, who's got the arm, throws it up again and deflected there at the last minute. Great play by Keevrick Wiggins Jr. He was there step for step with Darren Morris.
A good job by the secretary, but you can tell probably a sense of urgency with the offensive coordinator saying, hey, I want to take a deep shot. But that's really good coverage, inside-out coverage. One over the top, one underneath. Probably have to make a better decision where to go with the football.
You see he's got a strong arm. And Bodden, who we mentioned, started a couple games this season, hurt versus Texas Southern, struggled against FAMU, and that's when they made a change at QB. But can he lift this Southern team and help them come back trailing by 14? Tries to get outside the pocket, heaves it up. And the pressure there from Joshua Nobles.
For intentional ground. Number 82 was in the area.
They said the receiver was in the area, so no intentional grounding.
This is not Bob's specialty, the rolling out. That's not what he does. He's not the mobile guy. Unfortunate that somebody was in the area, or it would have been intentional grounding. But Bodden, his style, he's more of the pocket passer, so you really start with protection first. And if guys can get open, he can deliver the ball to you.
Box it, collapsing, he bounces out and just throws it away. And it's fourth down.
Not able to protect him. Quarterback getting up off the ground, took a pretty good pop at the end of that play as he was getting rid of the football.
And Terrence Graves just saw a shift in this ball game from his team coming out of the locker room. Oftentimes, that's when you see the adjustments made and the things that worked offensively for Southern in the first half were figured out and adapted to by the Tiger defense. And that one, not a good punt at all. It just kind of mooches it up and bounces, takes a more favorable Jackson State bounce. In Jackson State territory after that 20-yard punt. The Tigers have the ball when we return. Whatever your style, Jennings likes to roll out, and he's a guy who is exciting on the run and can deliver the football. Meanwhile, talking about quarterbacks, Cameron McCoy now in at quarterback for the Tigers. Low snap, once again, that's been an issue all day long. No problem, though, handing it off to Irv Mulligan with good yardage, but that's something that you're going to see offensive line coach Manny Ramirez talk to Almetrius Smith about these low snaps.
You know, the thing is, the quarterbacks aren't talking to them. You know, they're snapping the ball thinking everything's okay and they're making the plays. You have to go correct them, or else if they think they're getting the ball back there and you're not saying anything to them, it's going to happen again.
And they hand it off again to Mulligan as we send it down to the field with Coley.
Well, Tiffany and Jay, I want to kind of clean up some of the quarterback rotation that we've seen for Jackson State today. Technically, right now, Cameron is the number 2 quarterback for the Tigers. Excuse me, I said that the wrong way. Cameron has been the number 2 quarterback all season. He's technically the number 3 quarterback, as Zy McDonald has actually in the last couple of weeks taken over that number 2 spot. So we will see. Well, oh, there's a bad snap. We'll see what happens here.
Fumble, and it's McCoy who was able to stand on top of it and recover it. But again, that's going to be something when you go back in the film room and watch, where can we clean things up?
At the center position, you got to talk to them, or else they're going to keep doing it. And so we've seen that happen, just not clean, and Jackson State fortunate to recover that football on the ground.
And so TC Taylor is having a conversation with some of his O-linemen, and here in this fourth quarter, it's been a different story. We saw them come out like gangbusters out of the locker room after they received the ball to start the third, put up 17 points, but in this fourth, it's been a couple of 3-and-outs and an interception for the Tiger offense. Currently a play clock issue on the field, and so that's why
delay a game. Offense, number 48, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
It ends up being a delay of game. And so now you're at the point, Jay, you're under 8 minutes to go. Southern continues to have opportunities, but you're on your third quarterback now with Noah Bodden, or your second quarterback rather, with Noah Bodden. And that was a tough fielding and fumbling the football and handing it right back over to Jackson State. As it's Avery Salerno coming up with it. So the returner could not handle it. And Kendrick Grimes,
recovered by the kicking team. First down, Jackson State.
Has to be sick. He had to try to come up and get it. Misfields it just through his hands.
As a punt return, they tell you, you never want to try and field a punt while you're moving forward, while you're running. You want to do it when you're drifting or you're stationary. And at the last second, he tried to run underneath and field the punt. Not able to do so, and Jackson State is that much closer to making reservations to go to the ATL.
Well, Director of Athletics Ashley Robinson, who has seen his team go there 2 out of the last 3 years and have success. And now a chance to capture a third SWAC title in 4 years. They're under 7.5 minutes from doing so.
Yeah, it's tough to see a young man like Kendrick Grimes, who's done so much for this program, running the football, been one of the focal points there.
And good sign for T.C. Taylor as Zy McDonald back onto the field. Another low snap handled. Emery Matthews cut back inside, and Matthews finally brought down Vincent Page Jr. there on the stop. That's a first down, so it's going to bring up 1st and goal for Jackson State.
Good job just winning the battle. Right now, this is when the offensive line gets excited. They know it's time to eat some clock. We call it hammer time. Running the ball, finishing off your blocks.
Is there a timeout?
The previous play is under further review.
The last play, they'll take another look at it here.
What could they be reviewing?
I was going to ask you that question, Jay.
So maybe on that quarterback snap, there was another inaccurate snap. And this is college football, so you see if the quarterback's knee go to the ground. He's down. They're on it.
And that's Evan Henry, who is under center. Almetrius Smith Jr., the normal center, not on the field. So Evan Henry,
who's an all-conference lineman for him, slides over from his right guard position to play center. And when that happens, you know, he's normally a guard, so he's not going to be as accurate with the snaps. So that may be the reason why they're having trouble with those snaps. But I still say nobody was talking to him. You know, the quarterbacks. I don't think the quarterbacks were telling him, hey, get the ball up higher.
in terms of just the shift here, I mean, this would be a dagger for Southern if they can't come up with a stop here. But in terms of the job that T.C. Taylor has done, this was a team that came in. Let's get the call.
After review, the quarterback's knee was down in possession of the ball at the 18-yard line. 3rd down, Jackson State.
So erase that gain. Player down after review, but you think about when Jackson State came in, it was the preseason favorite was Alabama State, followed by Florida A&M, and then Jackson State out of the East. But T.C. Taylor had a plan, and he said at the early part of the season, look, we were still figuring ourselves out. We were still trying to figure out who we were. We were just getting Irv back. We were trying to settle on a quarterback. We had lost a couple of wide receivers when they faced off against Southern. And into the hands of Jonas Fortillion for the touchdown, Jackson State.
And that's just great execution of a football play. You know, running situation, you think they're going to try and run some clock. Just tell Fortillion, be patient. Those linebackers bite. You sneak in behind them on a delayed crossing route. Perfectly executed.
So Gerardo Beza on for the extra point, second team all SWAC selection, and stretching out that lead and making it ever so tough for Southern to try to come back in this one. We talked about Beza, one of those all-conference selections. Jackson State has had plenty to cheer about. Look at that first and second team. They've been absolutely outstanding. We've called a number of the names today. Irv Mulligan, Joshua Nobles, Kiefer Wiggins, Jacobian Morgan, Matt Nolan. How about the coach of the year? And T.C. Taylor.
And he'll be the first to admit it. Nobody saw that Coach of the Year coming when they got beat by Grambling early in the year. The Grambling loss was almost like, inexplicable to be a team.
The defense there nearly brought down Baden. Forces an incompletion as Philip Webb, they call him the best pass rusher up front, nearly brought down the QB.
This will be tough right now for Baden because you're coming in, they want you to throw the ball. Jackson State knows you're going to throw the ball with the defensive linemen. They want those numbers. They want those sacks. And the one thing Baden doesn't do, he's not the fastest quarterback they've got on the roster.
Baden on 2nd and 10. Flush out of the pocket again, and the pass completed but out of bounds. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 10 now. And this was a grab for the SWAC West throughout. You know, there were so many question marks about who was going to take control of the West. Could it be Alcorn State, who was selected to finish first in the West? Would it be Grambling State? Could they make some noise? Prairie View A&M, who was last year's representative from the West Division. And Southern emerged and really handled things in the West, finishing off the conference record at 7-1 coming into today's game.
And give them credit. I mean, when it came to the power rankings, they were never in that top 1, 2, or 3. Always lingering around number 4, number 5. But Coach Graves found a way to win close contests. So many people question the fact, they won 3 overtime games. Those games could have gone either way, but he won them. And you have to give them credit for that and put themselves in a position to compete for the SWAC championship. And a lot of people didn't see it coming. And it's just Coach Graves' first year as the head coach. So they've got to be pretty excited in Baton Rouge as well.
One of the things that he said that he's learned in this first year is patience along the way. And patience indeed. And when you look at the list for Southern in terms of postseason honors,
you hear what they played here.
Kelby Givens is the lone postseason honoree for the Southern Jaguars. T.C. Taylor, Irv Mulligan, and Travis Terrell racking up for the Tigers. Daniel Richardson, the newcomer out of the year for Florida A&M. And how about the co-defensive player of the year in linebacker Andrew Jones, who led the conference in total tackles.
Talented bunch here. And did you hear the crowd go crazy when they played Welcome to Atlanta? They are ready to go to Atlanta.
They were ready well before this game.
Yes.
The run ahead from Travis Terrell Jr.
And we know that Jackson State has not played their A game, right? Slow start, still got 34 points. Offense average is 36 points, and you got 34 right now. You're off to a pretty good start. And that lets you know you can overcome yourselves and still be effective, and that's what I'm seeing from Jackson State.
Over 5 minutes to go, 2nd and 7. Travis Terrell Jr. again. And a first down and a flag coming out at the end of the play. That was going to be a target. Yep.
Seemed like at the end of that run, that might have been a launch. Possibly, but they're going to call it and then let the
personal foul, targeting, defense number 8, 15.
The run ahead from Travis Terrell Jr.
And we know that Jackson State has not played their A game, right? Slow start, still got 34 points. Offense average is 36 points, and you got 34 right now. You're off to a pretty good start. And that lets you know you can overcome yourselves and still be effective, and that's what I'm seeing from Jackson State.
Over 5 minutes to go, 2nd and 7. Travis Terrell Jr. again. And a first down and a flag coming out at the end of the play. That was going to be a target. Yep.
Seemed like at the end of that run, that might have been a launch. Possibly, but they're going to call it and then let the...
Personal foul. Targeting. Defense, number 8. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down. That foul is under further review.
That's called against Jamarius Brown, a senior out of Mobile, Alabama. So they'll have a review of that last one. You saw Terrell's helmet kind of pop up. Oh, yeah.
Right there in front of the umpire. What do they call that? That's the old school. That's the crown of the helmet, too. That penalty will stand, and that will be, I believe, an ejection.
And we saw that last week in the Bayou Classic for Herman Brister III. They're starting free safety, and now the strong safety, Jamarius Brown, may have a similar fate here. And you would assume that this might not take a long time in terms of the review. The replay official, Hubert Owens.
Pretty clear cut.
Yep.
After review, the foul for targeting has been confirmed. Number 8 on the defense has been disqualified for further participation in the game. First down, Jackson State.
So the afternoon is done for Brown. And they're at the end of the play. I mean, we talked about the chippiness of this game earlier. And there, that one just unnecessary, but some frustration for sure for the Jaguars.
No doubt about it. I mean, you come in here expecting to win, and start getting late in the game, you start realizing things aren't going your way. Really test your mental toughness. Stay disciplined and respect the game.
Terrell on the carry. Slits through. Terrell keeps on going. And then he's popped on his way out of bounds. And I got to tell you, one of the things that we've heard from the coaches is just how exciting this young kid is.
A fan favorite around here. I mean, he's shifty, he can make you miss. Not afraid to mix it up. Fantastic in the return game. And as he improves on his receiving skills, just a true freshman. You know, this is going to be a weapon that they'll have at their disposal.
Well, he's been taking some pops on the way as the 5'8", 165-pound true freshman out of Atlanta is itching to try to get back, guys.
For a player injury.
Zion McDonald, who was shaken up earlier, getting some attention once again. Well, Jackson State, who has been 4 for 4 in the red zone today, they've been excellent in this area throughout the season. And you think about the pieces for next week, and again, still 4 minutes to go, but obviously a lot of people will be talking. You had South Carolina State, the #1 team in your HBCU power rankings. And it looks like they're going to ask some of the linemen to come over and try to help Zion McDonald up. Now that's one. That's kind of like boss like to get off on the field. Is it cramps, Jay?
I don't want to speculate because that seems a little bit more than cramps. Is normally he may be cramping in 2 legs, or normally you hop over on 1 leg if it's that tight. But we've seen him go into the locker room and then come back out, and it appears to be the same reason.
So McCory on the field. The signal caller, 2nd and goal. The handoff and stretching out into the end zone is Travis Terrell. Travis Terrell Jr. has T.C. Taylor pumped up.
Well, they put a 40-piece on a team that only gives up 21 points a game. After the handoff there, you knew they wanted the fan favorite Terrell to get into the end zone. He wanted it as well, extending over for the score.
7th time this season that they've put up 40 or more points in a ball game. And I think this will pretty much sum up the feeling of the Tigers. Right there. That fist pump and then the extra afterward. A little stomp. That was emphatic from T.C. Taylor.
You know, it's a big win for him. You know, he's been a guy that has dreamed about getting this job one day, paid his dues, coached around the country, but always wanted to come back to Jackson State, was an assistant coach. We'll call him during the prime years. Paid his dues there as an offensive coordinator, then went back to wide receiver. And for him, in his 2nd year as a head coach, to be SWAC Coach of the Year, and more importantly, SWAC champions, you really got to appreciate the job he's done.
Well, I think that the turnover to success is such an interesting one. Like last year, he had the #2 recruiting class in FCS after that, mass departure with Coach Prime after that 2022 season. And he kind of got back to the drawing board when he came back to the office and said, woo, what's it going to be? As Kobe Brown tries to return this one. But to follow up on that story, so he said, hey, look, we lost a lot of pieces, so we had to find a way to build. And this year he brought in a really young coaching staff to infuse a new type of energy, one of the youngest in all of FCS. Now East champions and just under 4 minutes away from being the Southwestern Athletic Conference champions for 2024. Well, Southern, who had their opportunity, remember, they had the lead way back in the first quarter, 10-3, but since that time, it's been all Jackson State. They've gone on a 38-3 run. And Darren Morris, who's wrapped up by Robert McDaniel.
Final pass. Complete to Morris.
You wonder at what point, if you're Terrence Graves, do you tell your offensive coordinator, hey, let's run the ball. Today's not our day. Jackson State got us.
2nd down, 2nd and 7.
Now, this was a question mark, and forgive me for asking it or posing it this way, but when you take a look at the way Southern was able to beat Grambling State in the Bayou Classic, which game means more to the fan base, Jay? The Bayou Classic or the SWAC
Don't
Championship?
put me in that argument. I have seen coaches lose the Bayou Classic, but hear an earful from the fan base, and they say, wait, we're going to the SWAC Championship next week. They're like, we don't care, you better win that Bayou. So for Southern, I mean, the huge win was definitely the Bayou. This would have been a little icing on the cake. But I think as it emerges and the Celebration Bowl is more and more recognized nationally as one of the go-to events to go to, I think they appreciate going to Atlanta.
Bodden with time, across the middle, pass incomplete. Here's Anthony Petty right there with the receiver. And to think about this SWAC championship game when they moved to divisions, East and West. Began in 1999, kind of the brainchild of then SWAC Commissioner Rudy Washington. So they gave up their automatic bid to the 1AA playoffs to the SWAC championship game. And I'll say this, since it's moved, because it was in Birmingham at one point, then we saw it in Houston, and it moved to school sites back in, 2016?
Mm-hmm. I love it. I mean, that was a brainchild of the current commissioner, right? Dr. McClellan?
Yes. Oh, it's 2018, I think it was.
McClellan decided to move the games. And every teams have something to play for. Fan bases want to host. What a catch.
What an incredible catch there from Darren Morris.
One-on-one, taking a deep shot, getting behind. That's really good coverage. Just a better throw and better catch.
Daniel, who had the INT earlier, couldn't get that one from Darren Morris, who made a good play. 2-minute timeout on the field here from Jackson, and the Tigers 2 minutes away from going to the cricket.
At the price I wanted. I wish everything was this easy. Not kidding. Check out healthmarkets.com today.
Well, this one's in the bag for Jackson State in this 2024 SWAC championship, and the winner of this going to Atlanta. And so Jackson State has made their way there a couple of times, come up short against South Carolina State and North Carolina Central. So we'll see a rematch of that, Florida A&M winning it all last year. Grambling State, the other representative out of the SWAC to have been Cricket Celebration Bowl champions.
One of those things where there's always a defining moment, in those games, and like, who's next? Who's going to be the step-up person? Who's going to do it? It was a defining moment for Buddy Pugh in his legendary coaching career. I think we mentioned Willie Simmons early. That was his defining moment, winning that Celebration Bowl. Trey Oliver, yeah. Rob Broadway, Sam Washington. They all tell you there's no better feeling than that. And this year, we're going to have another first-time coach win their first Celebration Bowl.
Penalty marker comes out right in the end zone. Call pass interference against the Tigers secondary.
Pass interference on the defense, number 10, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's the true freshman, Mike Smith III. And I think that conversation all the more interesting because Chinnis Berry, the MEAC Coach of the Year, versus the SWAC Coach of the Year and T.C. Taylor. Your question mark, who is the Offensive Player of the Year in the MEAC? And you've got to believe it's the Bulldogs QB, Eric Phoenix. Irv Mulligan has already wrapped that up here in the conference for the Tigers. First and goal, Southern. And Noah Bodden, who's not used to running it a whole lot, got stood up by Reed Pulliam, loss of 1. So just trying to put a score on the board for good measure here for the Jaguars. But then you look at what is the future for Terrence Graves in this Southern University program.
They're going to be bright. I mean, I think they need some stability there. And if you got a guy that you know can coach, and Southern fans don't want to hear it, they can be very fickle. But if you got a guy that likes the school, has proven he can coach and improve the team, then you have to make that investment in him, and better days will come. Get some better recruits in there and give them time to grow some of these players. I mean, we got 2 freshman quarterback playing, so.
Intentional grounding, number 15 on the offense. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down, third down.
Hey, 2-second run off. Run off.
Well, Terrence Graves, who was seen a lot of success during his time at Southern in the past under Pete Richardson. Came back for a short stint. No forward or
because that foul carried a 10-second runoff, Southern is elected to take a timeout to avoid the runoff.
Coach
Timeout.
Graves.
That's their second charge timeout of the half. It will be a 30-second timeout.
And I think maybe at this point, he's coaching towards the future. Because you don't call a timeout in this situation to avoid the 10-second runoff. But he's trying to instill here at Southern University during my watch, we're going to play through the final whistle. And you see that he's still trying to fire the guys up. And that's that gut check time. Don't quit. Let's go.
But the way that, he's poured into these players and this program over the years, this is one of those important lessons. And how do you move forward? Will you take the lead of your head coach and see how they act in moments of adversity or when things aren't going your way? And you keep fighting. Noah Botten throws it up and it's intercepted. This one into the hands. Second INT of the game for Robert McDaniel.
Robert McDaniel with the interception of the Tigers.
Exclamation? Is that an exclamation mark?
Indeed.
And McDaniels improved his stock.
Already NFL prospect TC Taylor showing off his moves.
It's cold. They want to douse him in that water.
But he's got a white hoodie on too.
So that's even more.
Yeah.
You're like, if I can get him with the white hoodie and get some red Gatorade, put it on him, that'll leave a stain.
And Jackson State's gonna run out the clock. Ashley Robinson, Director of Athletics, he is pumped up. That is his guy. And Jackson State, they are the SWAC champions for 2024. The Tigers did a remarkable job, undefeated in conference play. And they're going back to the Cricket Celebration Bowl for the third time in 4 years. Congratulations to TC Taylor and the Tigers. One heck of a job from Terrence Graves and the Southern Jaguars that just came up short here. It was a second half onslaught from the Tigers that told the story and allowed this crew to win their fourth SWAC championship game. Jay, final thoughts here.
All right, Atlanta's going to be special. My two top-ranked teams in the FCS top 25, they're going to meet and do battle in Atlanta to crown an HBCU national championship at the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
A resounding 41-13 victory for Jackson State, for Jay Walker, Coley Harvey, and the rest of our great ESPN crew. I'm Tiffany Green saying so long from Jackson. We out.
To dictate where the ball goes in their half court. And because of that, it's allowing Houston's defense to load to the ball. What does that mean? It means that help is always in rotation. That's a clean look you have to hit.
And Patrick McCaffrey does for Butler.
See, they got them in a little bit of rotation. They had two come to the ball, and they moved.
Certainly no stranger to taking on Gonzaga. As formerly the coach at BYU, and they were in the same conference with the Zags. And there is a foul, and we're going the other way. An offensive foul in Houston.
It's Graves and the Southern Jaguars that just came up short here. It was a second half onslaught from the Tigers that told the story and allowed this crew to win their fourth SWAC championship game. Jay, final thoughts here.
All right, Atlanta's going to be special. My two top-ranked teams in the FCS top 25, they're going to meet and do battle in Atlanta to crown an HBCU national championship at the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
A resounding 41-13 victory for Jackson State, for Jay Walker, Coley Harvey, and the rest of our great ESPN crew. I'm Tiffany Green saying so long from Jackson. We out. Welcome into the 2024 SWAC Championship trophy presentation. Our Coley Harvey is on the field standing by with the winning coach and coach of the year in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, T.C. Taylor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tiffany. Coach, we saw the emotion from you just a few moments ago. You were bending over. What is going on in your mind right now?
I mean, we talked about this, day one when I took this job, where we wanted to be, where we wanted out of this program, and to finally be here, just to finally be here. I'm so happy for this team, all these fans that came out and supported, these coaches, and for believing in me, just for believing in me as their leader. And we just went out there and they played their hearts out today, and it just, to be alum here. I played on this same field, and I talked to the team last night. We still putting nails in the house right now, and we're looking forward to going 20 East next week. And playing for a national championship. But right now, I just want to enjoy this one, man, to be SWAC champs, to go undefeated in the SWAC. I can't say enough, my wife, my sons, A.D. Robinson done a great job, President Thompson. I mean, it's just been total support, since I've been, a named head coach. So, and my mom, my sister, everybody's here. It's just overwhelming right now.
20 East to play for a national championship in Atlanta, Georgia. You talked about this game. Your backup quarterback, Zy McDonald, coming off the bench, really playing his tail off, so to speak. Yeah. What did you make of his day?
I've been saying all year, we recruited the way we recruit, we needed depth. You know, we got great depth on this team. I've been saying we got a couple of guys in that quarterback room could go somewhere and be starters. You know, for him to come in off the bench cold and just change the whole dynamic of that game, I can't say enough about him. You know, we watch him work every day. You know, we know how good he is as a player, and these players believe in him. So, you know, the guys around him, you know, told him, we're going to take care of everything else, so you go out there and make plays, and that's what he did.
Now, your defense, I want to talk about that really quickly. In the fourth quarter of the last 7 games, you guys have just given up 13 points on defense. What is it about this defense that's wired that way when it comes to clutch time?
They stick together. They do a good job of playing together, and it goes back to that depth on the defensive side. You know, Coach Quinn, Coach Orr, Coach Kali, you know, all those guys, Coach Javancy, Coach Mario, they do a great job, you know, and they love playing for Coach Quinn. You know, he does a great job scheming things up. And we go in the half and we make adjustments. You know, Southern did a great job coming out in the first half, making us play football today. But I told the team at the half, man, this is not the last time we're going to put these pads on. You know, we want to do this one more time. And, you know, that defense is one of the best in the country. I've been saying it. I believe it. And they had a chip on their shoulder. You know, it was a couple guys we felt like were all conference caliber guys that didn't get the nod. But I said, go out there and show them tonight.
Yeah, you guys certainly did. Thanks very much for the time, and congrats to you, Coach.
All right, thank you. Go Tigers.
Thanks so much, and make sure you stay tuned for the trophy presentation just momentarily.
Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the field, where SWAC Commissioner Dr. Charles McClellan has been joined by Ken Montgomery, Senior Vice President, Industry Relations and Multicultural Development, PepsiCo North America, for today's championship awards. The 2024 Pepsi SWAC Football Championship is presented by GM. Now announcing the GM Most Valuable Player of today's game, presented by Commissioner Dr. Charles McClellan. On offense, number 3, Zy McDonald. And also the General Motors Most Outstanding Defensive Player, presented by Commissioner Dr. Charles McClellan, goes to number 3, Robert McDaniel. And now presenting the 2024 Pepsi SWAC Football Championship Trophy, along with Ken Montgomery from our title sponsor Pepsi, to the Tigers of Jackson State University. University President Dr. Marcus Thompson, Athletics Director Mr. Ashley Robinson, and Head Coach T.C. Taylor.
The best coach in the country could be here without his GC. Let's give him a big round of applause. Fine group of student athletes. We wouldn't be here without their tireless dedication and commitment. Let's celebrate them. And I'd also like to thank our wonderful Vice President of Athletics, Ashley Robinson, the best in the land. And to our SWAC Commissioner, PepsiCo, we thank you for your support as well. And the last charge I have is Coach TC. Let's make history in Atlanta and bring that trophy home.
Hey, turn me up. Hey, give this football team a round of applause. The way they work all year long, I can't say enough about this group. So excited. Hey, my coaches, I don't know where you guys at too. Shout out to my coaches. Mr. Commissioner, I thank you, President Thompson, Vice President A.D. Robinson. This one is for the city of Jackson. This one is for you guys. The sport that y'all give us week in, week out doesn't go unnoticed. And next week, I need 20 East Hat. We're going over there to finish the deal. It doesn't stop right here. But we're going to take this all in. My family in the house. I can't say enough, but I'm excited. But I love each and everybody in here. Thanks for your support. And let's go Tigers.
SWAC fans, please welcome from Google, Ms. Felicia Coney, Vice President of Global Server Operations. She's here to present Jackson State University, the winner of the 2024 SWAC Football Championship, with $50,000. Google congratulates the Jackson State Tigers on a huge win. Congratulations to the Jackson State University Tigers, the 2024 SWAC Football Champions. And thank you, Google. Congratulations to the Jackson State Tigers, who will be traveling to Atlanta, Georgia on Saturday, December 14th to represent the SWAC in the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
Jackson State Tiger fans. That's what it's about. Congratulations, Coach Taylor, on an outstanding season. Commissioner Club, you have a great champion here with the Jackson State Tigers. Coach, you told me in the beginning of the season, I will see you in Atlanta. So on behalf of the ESPN and ESPN event and the celebration board, we're extending your official invitation to the 2024 Cricket Celebration Bowl.